It is 7 o'clock. Weather in the area, partly to mostly sunny, warm, with low humidity, too. Beautiful day. 86, but again, low humidity, so it should be very nice.
Nice.
Tonight, mostly clear, comfortable, a low of 65. Wednesday, partial sun with an isolated afternoon shower, a high of 84 tomorrow. And then Thursday, increasing clouds, showers and thunderstorms possible at night, though. No big severe weather, though. No outbreak is expected at this time. 84 for the high on Thursday. So that it's looking pretty good, actually.
That's not bad.
But actually, right now, it's mostly sunny and 62, and Brittany and I both agreed it's very cold.
It felt so cold when I let out the dogs. I was like, get back in, hurry up.
And so dark.
It did feel dark?
Because I get up every time at the same time, every day. I let the dog out, and now I got to get the headlamp out because I pick up after my dog every morning. I don't leave. I hate that. It's so gross.
It's insane that you do that.
Yeah, so I pick it up, but now I got to have the headlamp. I put the little lamp with the thing.
You are
the miner's
helmet. Yeah.
You're mining poop out there. What time do you get up at, Rudy?
5:03 every morning.
Okay.
Yeah.
God, by coincidence, last night, Catherine and I just started watching Succession, and we're on episode 2 or 3, I don't know what it was. And by coincidence, there's a kid in the snack room, and he's filling up his little plastic bag with candy and crackers and all this stuff. And his boss comes and goes, "What are you doing?" He said, "Well, this stuff is free." And he goes, "Yeah, that's not what I'm saying, but what are you doing?" He goes, "What do you mean?" He said, "Look at your bag." And it's a dog bag, right?
Oh, like a poop bag.
Yeah, like a poop bag. And he goes, "What are you doing putting food in that?" He goes, "These things aren't pre-pooped." Really, pre-pooped? Is that where we're going? That show is damn. I tell you what, I know I say it a lot, probably every day, but streaming is just kicking ass right now.
Yeah, that show is funny.
The show's really good.
I feel like that scene is from the that scene is from later in the seasons.
No, this was like 2 or 3. Maybe he does it again.
Oh, yeah.
He might do it again because this was either episode, I think it was episode 3, I think.
Okay.
I know Dad just woke up again.
Okay.
So that is what, 2 or 3? Do you remember?
Yeah, it's like early on.
Something like that. And by the way, the first thing he says to his son after being in a coma is not very nice. I will tell
He's not a very nice man.
He goes like this. The guy's been in a coma for how long? Like a month or something?
Yeah, Roy.
I thought he was going to die.
Yeah.
Brian Cox plays the dad.
He's so good.
Phenomenal. He's a great actor. But he wakes up and he goes, "Dad, so great to see you sitting up in a chair." And Dad's got his eyes closed because he's still in misery. He goes, "I would just like to say that you are an effing disaster." First thing out of a coma, he calls his son an effing disaster.
No, that show, he's brutal. Every time you're like, oh, maybe there's some humanity, but he is brutal.
Oh, we're, like I said, we're only 2-3 episodes in, but it's really, really good.
Yeah.
Same with Righteous Gemstones. We're 3 into that now. That's hilarious.
Hilarious.
It's really nice to have, and basically what we do is Catherine and I set aside from like 7:30 at night or 8 o'clock at night till about 9:30, and that's when we watch all of our television. I mean, I watch the news and all that stuff, but our time together watching television is just before I go to bed, and it's nice because you either watch funny things, you watch the dramas. It's nice to be entertained before you hit the sack,
Yeah.
and then have nightmares about your real life.
Yeah, of your terrible real life.
To wake up to this agony every day.
This agony you chose.
You know, I did not. I was reeled in.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I was reeled in.
Yeah, okay.
You heard what I said. You heard me. Brittany and I, well, Brittany referenced this. I haven't seen the story yet, but it I don't know what the hell.
Okay.
Okay, what?
Oh, wait, I was going to say is, just before we go that story, did you watch at all the big dock worker fight, Rudy?
The big dock worker fight.
Yeah, so there's this huge fight. It's all over the news. There's this huge fight with this dock worker who's trying to get this big ferry to come park. And there's a boat in the way. And he's like, you got to move your boat to these guys that are kind of like wandering around this dock. It turns into this this guy ends up swinging and wrestling with the dock worker. But then all these spectators, which you can watch in the video, are like, what the hell? They get involved, and it becomes this huge fight. So they just recently talked about warrants being issued because they were like arresting everybody involved. It's a massive fight.
Oh, yeah. Look at all these dudes with their visors on. Probably got a bunch of Bud Lights in them, all taking haymakers at. Oh, look at these guys. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, and it turns into like people, a guy jumps off one boat, swims, and then gets in the fight.
Oh, Lordy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I guess I don't have to do the story now. You just did the whole story.
No, that's all. That was the.
But there's
leading
nothing
up.
else to say.
Oh,
is
no,
there?
no. They finally started issuing warrants. So my story isn't even. I thought you already knew the other story.
No.
So the other one's been around for like 2 days now. And this story is now about the warrants that they're issuing to who and to what.
Oh, you want me to read this because it's on Coosa Street.
I don't even know what that means.
I know it, you don't, but I'm really
It's a
happy
good
you
name.
don't. You know what a coos is?
Oh, yeah. No,
Okay.
I say it all the time.
Well, there you
I
go.
say, yeah. You've never heard coos? No? Oh, yeah. No. Coos is like, it's.
Don't
you
tell
know.
her.
Yeah, you know.
Son of her beeswax. Mm-hmm. Okay, now that you did that story, we'll move on to another one.
Are you not going to read the warrant one?
Well, police in Montgomery, Alabama. Oh, is this in Alabama?
Yeah.
Issued 4 arrest warrants for suspects who attacked a black dock worker in an altercation that led to a brawl at a dock at the Riverfront Park. There are 4 active arrest warrants, and there's possibility more will follow after review of additional video. A police spokesman told ABC News police did not release the identities of the suspects. Police said officers responded to a disturbance at 200 blocks of Coosa Street. They went over to Coos, baby. Around 7 p.m. on Saturday, officers found a large group of people engaged in a physical altercation, and several were detained at the scene. I'm guessing a lot of alcohol on the boat.
I don't know. That
They don't talk about that?
That'd be cool to know too.
Videos of the brawl were captured by bystanders on cell phone. Yeah, you wouldn't want to help the other guy, though. Let's take some video of him getting his ass kicked.
A bunch of people help.
Good.
Yeah.
Glad to hear it. According to the videos, the fight appeared to begin when a white man attacked a... What does that have to do with the story? Did he attack him because he's black?
I have no idea because we're too far away to hear what is going on with the fight.
But I just really wish that people like ABC News would make sure that race had anything to do with it. It may not have. Look, the dock worker got screwed over no matter what his skin color is. According to the videos, the fight appeared to begin when a white man attacked a black dock worker. Several other white individuals joined the altercation, which escalated to a brawl, attacking the black man. Other videos captured by onlookers show that additional people joined the brawl in an apparent attempt to defend the dock worker. I don't know. According to witnesses who captured video of the incident, the fight began over a reported dispute between a dock worker and the owners of a pontoon. Yeah, the guy, Jesus. Looks like he threw the haymaker to kick the whole thing off. It looks like, anyway.
Well, yeah, the dock worker is explaining to that guy, you got to move your boat, and the guy is screaming at him, and then all of a sudden some guy comes out of nowhere and gives like the flying, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat at the guy.
It's wild.
But here's the thing, as I was watching it, because it's like, it's not to get back to the race thing, but it's one black guy it looks like he's kind of taking on like 6 white dudes.
Yeah, it does look like
And
it.
all of a sudden the white guys kind of slowly start to leave, and I'm like, oh, this is breaking up. And all of a sudden out of the left side of the frame comes a large group of huge black men. And I was like, oh, that's why those guys are leaving, because they're pussies.
Isn't that amazing?
They don't want to get their asses
There's a
kicked.
guy that jumped off a boat and swam, got out of
swam?
water. Yes, he jumped out of a boat, swam to the dock, pulled himself up, and immediately started fighting.
Yeah.
Do you know how exhausting it is to swim fully clothed and pull yourself on a dock and
Oh, the
immediately
guy was fully clothed?
Yeah, the guy was who was
Yeah, the guy swimming. Yeah.
It was a T-shirt and shorts, though, right?
I mean, I think
He's not wearing a tuxedo.
No tuxedos. I would definitely feel like that would have been noted.
No, that guy came after the video had stopped. The guy in the tuxedo.
Oh, he did? Okay.
Yes.
Because I'm looking at it right now, I can see the argument between the dock worker and the guy with the pontoon. By the way, it's pointed out, oh my God, a guy comes out of nowhere. Oh, it's that same guy.
Yeah.
Because the dock worker was talking to a different guy at this point.
Yep.
I just don't understand. Look, I'm looking at the picture of this guy, this honky. Jesus Christ, he threw a hell of a punch there. But are the other guys trying to get him off the guy, or are they just trying to slow things down? Because I don't see any of the other ones throwing. Did they throw punches too?
Oh, everybody's throwing punches.
Are they?
Yeah, I have to show you this side video, but it's so dark.
Wait a minute. There's an ad going on now. It's got to get back to the story. Now I don't know. And by the way, they say the black pontoon boat parked where the ferry parks. They wouldn't move when we were trying to pull in. It seems what these guys wanted trumped what a couple hundred people. Well, see, that's the exact point, and I'm glad you pointed this story out, because people buy. Yes, I don't see anybody else throwing punches but that one guy.
Oh,
They come over and attack me, like tackle people.
Oh, yeah, there's another angle.
There's a side angle.
Oh,
That's what I was trying to say. There's a side angle where people are flying out of the water. I mean, I'm not trying to laugh. It's so crazy.
It is crazy, but why is it happening?
Because they won't move their boat.
Why is it really happening? Because of selfishness. We have become, the entire earth has become one selfish puke hole. Everybody, it's me, more me now. It's all about me. And until that ends, this is going to keep going on.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never, ever in my life seen so many brawls. I mean, you would see a brawl maybe once or twice a year on the news. You remember seeing a lot of brawls on the news? Because I do not.
Well, you have to keep in mind cell phones. That makes a huge... I'm not saying you're wrong.
No, I understand. They got video of it and all that.
Yeah,
But you didn't even hear about them back then.
Because it's not like you're going to come to the news and be like, there was a 4-person fight on the dock. We'd be like, well, what are we going to report about that?
No,
but
I
like
understand.
all these people with cell phones is going to bring out a lot more stuff.
But I've never seen one. Have you ever seen a fight on a dock?
I don't think I've hung out on a dock.
Oh, there you go. Why? You must have been on a boat going by a dock.
I mean, yeah, I think so, but I'm not a frequenter of docks.
The biggest problem you got now is everybody, because of our society and the ass kissing that goes on, thinks they're very special, and it's always about me.
Yeah, there was
Disgusting.
a listener wrote in, Patrick wrote in, said the dock worker moved the boat without any permission. That pissed off the owner. But it's like, you got a giant ferry trying to come in with hundreds of people. I don't understand. That's
why I turn my phone off and sit at home watching television.
That's a good call.
Gunsmoke.
Gunsmoke. I used to love that show. Well, I still probably love the show, but I've seen them all. Love that show. James Arness went to Central High School in Minneapolis. You knew that, didn't you? Mm-mm. Yeah, the guy who played Matt Dillon.
I didn't know that.
And then his brother, Peter Graves, who's also actually Peter Arness, but he's named, he was a guy on Mission Impossible.
Oh, wow.
The Arness brothers both went to Central High School in
They've done well for themselves.
Minneapolis. Yeah, they did pretty well, I would say. Are they both even around anymore?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I would imagine. I mean, they were... You know, it's funny because when you watch those old movies and old shows, you look at somebody and you're like, that guy's got to be in his 50s. And they're like, you know, he took that role when he was 26 years old. You're like, how does that work? Why do you look so old at such a young age?
It's so wild.
Yeah.
There you have it. I don't. So how? I assume the pontoon guys were drinking. Did they talk about that at all in the story?
I don't know. I didn't read the rest of it.
Well, if you go flying, you know,
Right.
hey, you can at a guy with no shirt on, and you got, yeah, I imagine you've probably had a couple of pops in you.
So that's the whole deal. So will they be arrested for boating while drunk?
Probably not the boating, but I bet disorderly conduct and obviously assault. That'll probably go down because this never would have started had the guy not come flying at the dock worker.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't understand that kind of it. And first of all, sir, you're about the size of a sixth grader, so calm down. Guy, do you see his legs?
I don't know. The one I see throwing his whole body at is not little.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The guy who started the fight, though, was a little guy. And I don't mean short. I'm talking about very, very skinny.
Oh.
He's really thin. So
Those short, skinny guys, they're the worst, aren't
I
they?
said
They
it
suck.
wasn't the fact they were short. Just dial it back.
I was saying it's because he was short. He's got something
you
out here
did?
trying
Way to
prove.
go. Way to go. Yes, feed into his deal. That's what we need here today.
Not a problem. I'm on it.
But yeah, I just, that's why, to tell you the truth, I do not go out in public much because right now I have a real hard time with people and how incredibly selfish we've become. And not just in America, it's everywhere.
You're worried to get in a massive dock fight?
No, I don't want to put up with their selfish, self-involved bullshit. Yeah. Me. It's all about me. Everything's about me. It's like nothing's about you. You're a lame brain. Right?
Who was it about?
What?
They're saying it's about me. It's about me. Who is it about?
That's not the point.
I know. I'm just saying. I was just starting a conversation.
Not a good one.
Oh, well.
Nobody else has any idea what the hell you're talking about. But
I respect that. I'm fine with that.
I respect that greatly. No, I just, the whole thing. Look, they have a deal now, by coincidence, I guess, in a way. Last night there was a big deal on the national news about the number of fistfights on airplanes now.
Yeah.
Holy Christ.
I don't know what it is. When I'm on an airplane, it's like there must be a combination. There must be something we could study psychologically, because what is happening in people's brains where they go, this is my time. This is I'm going to freak out. Is it the lack of control?
It's probably because of drinking or drugs or something like that. But it's the selfishness. It's I am all that matters that we have a problem with.
No, but I mean, like, in our normal life, we can sit where we want, do what we want. But this is the one time that they have no control. You go, you sit where you're supposed to sit. Is that triggering for people?
Why? It's always been that way.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, there has to be a reason that this place, these airplanes, people are throwing down, becoming so unhinged, so crazy. And maybe it's that combination of they have no control. You don't get to sit where you want. You don't get to do what you want.
You can buy whatever ticket you want.
No, I just mean, like, in general, you're not the one in charge when you're on a plane.
I don't want to be in charge of an airplane. You don't want me in charge of an airplane.
Yeah, you and I don't want. Yeah.
Damn.
But, like, there's that, and then there's on top of it, you're around people that you're not normally around. Like, you don't know who these people are. It's something, we could study it. There's something going on with people that become unhinged in the airplane situation.
Remember we talked a couple of weeks ago about how Chuck E. Cheese has the most fistfights, per restaurant because of the people? Remember that? We had that conversation?
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like it's got a lot to do with that. And the only time you ever see those fistfights break out, and this isn't a poor thing or a rich thing, the only time you see those fights break out is Spirit Airlines, American Airlines, Sun Country. It's a lot of the more budget, low end. And that's the same reason with Chuck E. Cheese. You have more people that kind of are in a tax bracket that they're able to afford it, but their quarter means more than the other person's quarter. So when you step in front of them and you put your quarter in before the other kid does, now you're those are fighting words. And you get on that airplane and your $90 seat means more than the other person's $90 seat, and your overhead compartment means more than the other person, even though you guys are, but that's more of a tax bracket that is prone to violence. And that's why this stuff is breaking out.
So do you think when people buy a ticket, they feel entitled to A, B, and C, and when that's not given to them, they're irate?
Yeah, you take that and then the combination of booze on the airplane, and then you can sit at the airport and you can drink for 3 hours before your flight starts. So, yeah, absolutely.
So the real answer is alcohol and selfishness.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. I've been on an airplane for 7 hours going to Europe, 7, 8 hours, something like that. I couldn't care less. I'm going to get off the airplane. You do what you do. Just stay away from this little area. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I've got my little halo around my family.
Yeah.
You stay out of here and you do what you do. It's literally insane. Yeah. It's on buses. It's on planes. It's on docks. It's everywhere. Everybody thinks they're a tough guy now.
Yeah.
And again, Sonny Barger said it best. Head of the Hells Angels, everybody's a tough guy until they meet a tough guy. Which I agree with 100%.
Yeah.
Calm down. Stop drinking so damn much. Remember how pleasant I was when I drank?
Oh, God.
Very even keel.
Oh, God.
I never used to get in fistfights, though. I never got in fistfights when I was drinking.
Yeah, I don't. How? You didn't get in very many fights. Are you
I stabbed a couple guys.
Are you a big talker, or is that you're not? Are you a fighter? Because you don't get in fights.
I don't get in fights, generally because I think I kind of turn into a psychopath. And they don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't know I was doing that, but it'd be like, start huffing and puffing and all that stuff. My favorite of all time, though, on an airplane, and you know Fitz. Mm-hmm. Rudy, I don't think you've ever met Fitz. He's a friend of the family's. He's 6'5", probably weighs about 320. Gigantic man. And he's got a voice like this, too. We're on an airplane, and this guy behind us starts stirring the pot, stirring up trouble. He's bitching at the women. He's bitching at the pilot. He's blah, 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 blah. And So Fitz turns around and goes, we're just going to be on this airplane for about 3 hours. If you could just calm down, that'd be great, and don't worry about it. So the guy said, takes his shoe off and sticks his bare feet between the seats so it's right on Fitz's armrest.
Ew.
And Fitz turns around and looks at him and goes, I'm going to take off my belt, and what happens after that, you ain't going to like it all. So I would remove that foot right now. And the man complied. I wonder why.
Nice. Oh, nice.
Everybody's an asshole.
Yeah.
I don't know why everybody's an asshole right now. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
But the only answer can be that they're very self-involved and they don't give a shit about anybody else but themselves.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like there's more to it, but I get what you're saying.
Like, what more could there be to it? I mean, the alcohol part, definitely.
Yeah, I think people drinking is a big part. I think that, year, 2 years or whatever people did by themselves make people unhinged. I think there's, I think there's this like fear that's just injected in our whole country about the way things are going to turn out.
Mm-hmm. And who did that to us?
Well, I mean, yeah, I think that the media does that.
And our education system.
I don't know about that one.
Well, kids are told in school every day, oh, God, it's really horrible. I hear from young people, young kids all the time. That's all they ever hear in school now, how everybody's a victim now.
See, and like I talk to my nephews and I talk to the Goldens next door, and I don't get that. When I hear that you say that, I don't see that as much.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Because it does happen in other areas. I just everybody shut up. Everybody calm down. You're not the toughest guy in the world, so stop fighting with people.
Yeah.
Pay your bills and calm down.
Yeah, I love that.
Relax.
Shut up, or I am going to stab you.
Or I'll stab you. That's exactly right.
Those are your options.
Shut up or I'll stab you.
Act accordingly.
Yeah, I didn't hang out with guys who did stuff like that. I hung out with really, really tough guys, but they would never do something like that.
Yeah.
No way. No doubt about it. They were good people, but you didn't want to piss them off. That's a good way to put it, right?
I think so.
We'll be right back in a couple of minutes. So we just solved all the problems in the world. Just avoid people is the answer.
Done.
That's the only answer is stay away from human beings. This is Tommy B for our buddies at Niemeyer Trailer Sales. They've been a part of Minnesota since 1965. The name says it all. It actually says the name sales it all. Boy, whoever puts these together. Anyway, they are family, and they are, by the way, great family. If you want to take your passion on the road and make memories camping wherever you want, no motors but pulled trailer RVs, go to Niemeyer Trailer Sales. Father Jim Sr. started the business, and the brother and sister team, Tim and Lisa, handle Albertville with Jim Jr. at the helm in Elko New Market. They're the best name in non-motorized RVs with great deals on the best brands like Rockwood and Northwood. Niemeyer Trailer Sales truly outservices their competition with personable employees, very, very important. Often sons and daughters, by the way, of this third-generation family-owned business. They simply do what they say they will do every time because their name is on the building. And with a huge selection in RV service pros, you will leave satisfied no matter what you're looking for. Niemeyer takes care of every customer that comes in their Albertville or Elko New Market location. Head to NIEMEYERS.com and put your passion on the road. Niemeyer Trailer Sales.
Hi, I'm Mike Bryant, and I'm driving my car safely and legally communicating on my phone. Minnesota law allows a driver to use their cell phone to make calls, text, listen to music or podcasts, and get directions by voice command or single-touch activation without holding your phone. Violations are very expensive.
The National Safety Council reports that cell phone use while driving leads to 1.6 million crashes per year, and nearly 400,000 injuries are caused by texting and driving. Not surprising, since 4 seconds with your eyes off the road is like driving the length of a football field blindfolded. And research shows that just 2 seconds increases the risk of an accident up to 24 times. Texting may only take a second, but it can end your life or ruin it forever. Please, drive safely and stay alive.
Find Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Bradshaw and Bryant.
I'm here talking with my friends Michael Bilski and Brad Huckle of North American Banking Company. Guys, it seems like banking has changed quite a bit since you first opened your doors in 1998.
Yes and no. In 98, we didn't have online and mobile banking like we do today. Many banking processes have also changed. One thing that hasn't changed is we still provide a true community bank experience right here in the Twin Cities.
Our team takes the time to get to know our customers and their goals. This creates a relationship that is unique in banking today and one our customers appreciate. It's why we like to say we provide a better banking experience.
You're absolutely right, Brad. I've been a customer for a long time. The service your team provides is phenomenal.
Thanks, Tommy.
So why not bank with my banker, North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, equal housing lender. I've decided I want to tie our two top stories together. The one about getting in a fist fight on a dock, and then I'm going to go over to 21 Plus Puttery, and I'm going to start a fist fight over there too.
You know what? You'll get a weapon. They'll hand you one right when you walk in.
Start hitting people in the head with a putter.
They are really trying to not say putt-putt in this story. And I thought that was really funny. So Minneapolis, they've got this new thing that they're calling a puttery instead of putt-putt.
Is putt-putt still around?
Yeah.
It is, well, I don't know.
Like Can Wonderland.
You see your leap at me?
Yeah, he's been like excitingly.
Mm-hmm.
Can Wonderland is amazing.
Where's
There's
that?
one in like
St. Paul.
Yep, that's in St. Paul. But then there's another one in like Plymouth that has these statues. It's pretty fun.
Is it indoor or outdoor?
Outdoor.
Really? Where the hell would that be?
Yeah, Veterans Park in Richfield has their outdoor course too.
Oh, they do,
Great
too.
place.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
I used to love playing putt-putt.
Are you good at putt-putt?
Mediocre.
Because you don't have to be good at golf to be good at putt-putt.
No,
And actually,
you
it's
don't.
helpful to not be good at golf because I always beat Justin.
Do me a favor. Do not bring this up around Gelfand. You know the Gelfand putt-putt story? Takes his boys out to putt-putt. We're going to have a ball. It's going to be wonderful. He's out there, and I can't remember which son it was, but made a very, very long putt and went, oh, the greatest, and hit Mike right in the face with his putter.
Oh.
God. Can you imagine how much that hurt?
Yeah, that's a lot.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Hit him right in the face.
Dude, and there's nothing of like getting hit by your kid that you have to not, especially if you're holding
Right.
them, like go straight up just headbutts us so hard.
Oh,
and
yeah.
you just have to continue to hold them and not overreact and you just wait it out.
It's what you got to do. But yeah, maybe on Thursday you can say, Mike, have you ever played putt-putt?
Hey, Mike, you want to do a round at this puttery?
A new immersive golf venue and dining experience opened in the Twin Cities on Friday. They opened this Friday, as a matter of fact. Puttery Minneapolis, a concept from Dallas-based Drive Shack Incorporated. Oh, the Drive Shack, they're the big netted ones, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Those Drive Shacks. They're big.
Yeah, I've never been to one, but I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's fun. Well, there are a couple still around. I know that. Well, celebrates grand opening at 217 Hennepin Avenue in Minneapolis starting at noon. The 20,265 square foot 21 plus venue. Oh, so you have to be 21 to get in even.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Features 3 themed putting courses, art museum, conservatory, and library, bars, and multiple lounge areas throughout the both dining and craft cocktail service areas. You think it's a good idea to give people a putter and a drink?
Yeah, I do.
It is a good idea.
I mean,
Yeah.
we've been putting full-on drivers in people's hands, and
Right.
then they have a
Yep.
girl cart the booze out to people on a golf course.
And they're
True.
in a fake vehicle, but they're
Yeah.
allowed to drive.
Yeah, I've never seen a fist fight in a golf course. I've played a lot of golf in my life, but I've never seen anybody fighting or even arguing for that matter.
Maybe they're spread out enough.
Yeah, maybe. That might be it.
Yeah, I gave some old lady the business one day over on
I want to hear
Lost
about your
Spur.
sex life. Thank you very much.
I couldn't handle it. Because there was people in front of us. You know how it is, Tom, when you're golfing and there's the people in front of you that are keeping you slow. But it's like when you're at a stoplight
Yeah,
and you're
you let
honking
it
the
go.
horn and the guy's like, I'm trying to go, but there's somebody in front of me.
Right.
Lady started yelling at us for our slow play.
Yeah.
And I was like, ma'am, it's not us. It's the group ahead of us. And then she got angry and was like, well, I don't see him on the green anymore. And then, I lost it. I don't know, for whatever reason, I saw red. And I was like, because they're around the goddamn corner, lady.
Yeah.
That's where they are. You paid $30, I paid $30.
Just wait.
And that was it. And that was the last of the... She was like, okay, fine, sorry. I was like, yeah,
This
sorry,
is at a
blew
golf
up.
course
This
or
is-
putt-putt?
This was Lost Spur.
golf course.
Oh, Lost Spur.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah. Yeah, that whole deal about get out of the way. Well, where do you want me to go?
Yeah.
If you want to play through, feel free to play
Yeah.
through. But there's another
Yeah.
another group ahead of you that you also have to try to play through now. So just wait your turn. It's Saturday afternoon. What do you expect was going to happen?
Who's the one that told us about the Crusher and the Bruiser playing behind them at Hiawatha?
I don't know.
Oh, I thought it was on this show. Maybe it was on the Family Show.
No, I don't remember that. No.
I guess the entire round down at Hiawatha Golf Course, the Crusher and the Bruiser are behind a couple of friends of mine. Well, you guys need to get out of the way. We got stuff to. I guess they were talking in their wrestler voice the whole time.
I would be so annoyed. Just stop.
Like, Hawk, it's hard to swing that golf club when you got the giant shoulder pads with
Exactly.
the spikes on
Right?
them, dude. What's up?
Totally.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. Can't get any. Whatever. The concept has existed. Now we're taking back to the puttery.
The puttery. We can't call it putt-putt. It's too
It's puttery.
classy.
The puttery, exactly. The concept has existing locations in the Colony, Texas, Charlotte, North Carolina, and Washington, D.C. We are thrilled to bring an innovative putting and culinary experience to the Midwest with the grand opening of Puttery Minneapolis. Stated General Manager Jeremy Boyer in a news release, we hope Puttery becomes a go-to spot for the area's competitive, sports-focused residents. Puttery will be the go-to spot for many. Well, it's a good location there, that right there in Washington and Hennepin.
Yeah.
Although that's where I saw the two naked women in a fist fight, right there in that corner. So
Wow,
that was
they were
good.
fighting over their tea time.
That might have been what it was. I still wonder to this day, how did two naked women end up on the street in a fist fight?
I don't know.
How does that happen?
I don't know. It sounds no matter what in Minnesota, it feels like you gotta have it's rare being naked in Minnesota is the right thing weather-wise, like climate-wise. It's
Good
always
point.
a little bit cold.
Oh, yeah, so you guys are right. It's literally right next door to Whole Foods.
Yes.
Looks like.
Yeah.
In any case, will you guys do this?
I would love to. It's I guess I would have to get Justin on board.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good half-hour drive from our house, but yeah, I think this would be fun just to eat and chill. And I love when we go to putt-putt. We haven't done it in years.
Yeah. I assume they have parking there, although.
Yeah, Whole Foods has a good lot. You can park there, and it doesn't matter if you're Whole Foods or not. It's just attached.
Oh, really?
To it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They have a good parking spot, and then the meters over back there aren't too bad either. If you go a little bit north of there and west, you go by all where that one restaurant used to be that closed down. The one
Right there on Hennepin and Washington?
Yeah, I think it's on 2nd. What was that one that everyone would always take big lines to get in that they closed? It was owned by...
You mean up by the Pickle Parrot, where that used to be?
No.
Not that far.
More like Monte Cristo or the Monte Carlo.
Oh, down there.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's
yeah.
good parking over there. And then there used to be that one restaurant that people would wait in line to get into. It wasn't Salt or something, not Butcher and the Boar. That's very far away.
It was on the other end of town, yeah.
Yeah, if I could think of it, it's driving me nuts. But yeah, there's parking over there.
That's a good thing. So you just park on the street, or there's a lot. Hours of operation will vary, ranging from 11 a.m. to 2 a.m. Reservations are encouraged. Walk-ins are welcome, however. It sounds like it'd be a lot of fun. I mean, it looks like it. They don't really have a picture of it anywhere. Oh, there's a little picture of it, I guess.
Yeah.
3 different courses: the art museum, the conservatory, and the library.
Indeed. So, well, I'd love to give that a shot, particularly in the winter. That's a great idea.
Sure.
Yeah, that'd be super fun.
Something to do in the winter would be nice because there's not a lot going on.
Why does everything have to be an experience, though?
Oh, yeah, everything's an experience. You're right.
I don't need putt-putt to be an experience. I just need to go play putt-putt. That's it. I don't need...
That's your experience.
No, I don't need all that. I get that it's fun, but I'd rather pay $7 at the outdoor course. Or if anything, how about this? How about you save all that money, and for $500 you go online and you buy a golden tea machine.
There you go.
And you put that in your basement, and then it's all the free rum and cokes you want down there while you're playing golden tea, because that's my golf
I
experience.
love golden tea.
It's the best, isn't it?
Fun.
Yes. You can buy
Lot
those,
of fun.
You can buy those old machines for like $500 that
Sure.
still work, and you can put them in your basement and golden tea it up all you want.
We used to remember. Well, we didn't know you when we lived in Dayton, did we?
No.
Yeah, because we had down at the barn on the second floor. We put a bunch of video games up there.
Oh,
the
fun.
ones the ones you're talking about.
Yeah.
That was a ball, man. I don't know even whatever happened to those machines.
I mean, I bet Catherine sold them before you guys moved. To
Probably.
Yeah. Were you a big video game guy ever?
You mean like on TV at the house?
Yeah.
Yeah, I played some golf back at Tiger Woods golf was pretty good. Yeah. The only problem that I have is you buy it, and then after a few years, it just expires.
No.
It's like, so I have to buy a new one because you're making me buy a new one.
Oh.
That's kind of bullshit, don't you think?
Yeah, and that was even pre-internet where you weren't online with these games.
No, you weren't. They were actually, well, I don't even know what the hell they're called. I don't pay attention to that kind of stuff. But yeah, I played baseball on there. I played golf.
Was Andy really into video games?
Oh, he still is. He's huge into video games.
Yeah, I thought so.
He bought a new. Matter of fact, I just bought him a new system for like Father's Day.
Yeah?
I
you bought him a gift for Father's Day?
Yeah, well, I'm his father, so, he's a father now.
Then I've got to reach out to my father because I've been missing on some gifts for Father's Day.
Good luck to you. Have him get a hold of my dad, too, will you?
Not a problem. I'm on it.
Not a problem at all. No, but this does sound... I would love to go down to the Puttery because it looks like... First of all, I think they should make it like 31 plus, not just 21.
Yeah, 21's a little young.
Isn't that funny when you get to an age where you go, I would like to buffer that out a little more?
How old are you, Brittany?
37. Oh, no.
Okay, so 38 plus.
That's 38 plus.
I knew what I was saying it.
I
was asking for it.
Yeah. Have you guys ever played the Pirates Cove in Wisconsin Dells before?
Yeah.
That one is fun. My buddy Tim, who is he's not a swimmer. He hates swimming, but his family went to Wisconsin Dells. And they did all the parks in one day. They did like Noah's Ark. They did the Zeus, Excalibur, whatever it is. And he's like, I'm just going to go to Pirates Cove for the day. So he got there right when they opened, and he played mini golf all day till like 6 p.m. And at the end of it, they took a Polaroid and they framed it, and they said like, most holes of mini golf ever played at Pirates Cove, and it was like 197 holes. He just kept playing all day through and just kept doing it all day. And they gave him like a nice little plaque.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
The one I like, I feel like you'd like this one too, is at Centennial Lakes Park, the one in Edina.
Sure, yep.
Because it's real greens.
Yeah.
Justin loves going there because it's actually practical. Like you don't have the clown jumping out, which I love the chaos. Like I want Can Wonderland. I want all the nonsense. But this Centennial Lakes Parks is like real greens where you get to actually practice. Yeah. It's pretty cute.
So you go over to Lou Nanny's restaurant then when you're done golfing?
No, we don't do anything.
Why not?
I bring snacks in my pocket and just eat. What's his restaurant?
Tavern 23.
Oh, that's nice.
Right there, right? Yeah, right by where you're talking.
Right there.
As a matter of fact, yeah. Louis. God, I haven't talked to Louis. Catherine talks to Louis a lot more than I do.
Okay.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah, that was his hockey jersey number, wasn't it? Isn't that why they call it 23? Yeah.
When it first opened, it was Lou Nanny's. But then I don't know why they changed the name to Tavern 23. But it was his jersey number. That's exactly right. Louis, the whole Nanny family, really, really nice people. You guys know them at all?
No.
You never met them at all our house or anything? Really good people. And once Louis starts after a couple of cocktails, when Louis starts telling stories, it ain't ever going to end.
Yeah, you just take a seat, get a drink. Yeah.
But then this makes my heart kind of sad, but, we get together with Tino, his son-in-law.
Yeah.
And Louis, Vince Flynn was always there. Just had a great time, and then Vince had to go and die on us.
I know, it's so annoying. How dare he?
Way too young. Oh, God, he was only about, 40 or something?
Super young.
I think he's right around 40. Not very old, I know that. But we do miss you, Vince. Vince Flynn was a lot of fun to hang out with, because he and another guy we used to get together with all the time.
47.
He was 47?
That's insane.
I didn't think he was that old, even.
Yeah.
I thought he was in his low 40. Well, he's a very young-looking guy.
Yeah, he looks so young.
Indeed. But, he and another guy in our group used to get in these arguments every time a wine bottle got opened. It was just
As soon as you hear the cork come out, you're like,
you're wrong.
Ding, ding, ding. Here we go.
Here we go.
But always verbal, right?
Oh, yeah, no, they would never. Oh, God, the other guy wouldn't have lived 2 seconds.
Do you ever talk to Vince Flynn's kids? He's got 3 kids.
I talked to his wife. His wife has since remarried to a really, really nice guy. And I only say that because he's like twice my size.
Yeah, good call.
So, no, he is actually a very nice man. Lisa Flynn, I don't know what her name is now. I don't pay attention to that kind of thing.
Yeah.
People still ask me, how come Catherine has a different last name than you? I said, because she wanted to keep her name. Who gives a rat's ass?
People ask you that?
Oh, yeah.
Well, it seems like so obvious.
It's like, why? That whole thing about, you must take my name. Like, well, settle down.
Changing your last name is actually the worst thing in the world.
Is it hard to go through?
It's so annoying. You have to go to the Social Security office, and it's all in person. You have to do it. You have to get there at like 8 a.m. before they open because the lines start lining up. Takes so long. Everything is still like both worlds for me. I wish I would have just kept my last name and just pretend to go by Arneson because who cares? Like, nobody's asked me to show proof that I'm Arneson or a Hagen or whatever.
Right.
It's like I could have just been both without having to change anything.
See, and another reason that I never did care about that stuff. I never have cared about that stuff. But I have been told, I don't know, I've never checked it out, but I've been told that Barnard and Brandt is the same name anyway. Brandt is German and Barnard is Scottish. But they both mean the same thing, I guess.
What a weird coincidence that is.
I mean, if it's true. I've been told that by several people, so it must be true, I guess. But,
yeah.
But my favorite name I've ever heard, would you change your last name? And this was and I'm not dishonoring him. You were a legend in our house, George. I want you to know that. I never met him. Best last name I've ever heard. You ready?
Yeah.
His name was George Poofpoff.
Poofpoff?
Now that's a name right
That's
there.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Poofpoff.
Mrs. Brittany Poofpoff here.
You know what? I get so annoyed with the conversation I have to have around it.
Poofpoff?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can be a seamstress with that last name, but you can't be a cage fighter.
Poofpoff.
Probably not Poofpoff.
Yeah, Poofpoff. You want to change that one.
I wonder if there are any Poofpoffs left up in Long Prairie. There might be, because he was from Long Prairie, Minnesota.
Poofpoff.
Poofpoff. I don't even know what kind of name that would be.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I'm Brittany P. Brittany Poofpoff.
I like it.
It's exhausting. You'd have a what? You're who? Can you spell that? I just would be so. I don't want to have repeat conversations and again and again and again having to clarify. I would drive me nuts.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. You guys ever use self-checkout?
Yeah, once in a while. I don't like, if I have a good amount of stuff, I don't want to do it.
Right.
Like, I will lean towards more of them checking me out than self-checkout. How about you?
I've never, ever used it.
Yeah, I can see that.
I mean, these people have a job for a reason.
Yeah.
So you want to keep them in the money by going to them, I would think.
When's the last time you were at a grocery store or like Target where you saw more than 2 people checking out people?
Boy, that's a good call because a lot of times, the Byerly's in Edina does, and I think the one in St. Louis Park, they have at least 3 open at a time.
Yeah.
But you're right. Most places you go, it's like 2 people.
Yeah, like Target, man, I can like tap into memories as a kid, seeing like 3 or 4, 5, 6 in a row, all lit up, or like at Cub. But now it's like I can't remember a time there wasn't just like 2 people.
I know. Yeah. You're right. Self-checkout isn't going anywhere. In fact, these days, the self-checkout will probably ask you for a tip.
Oh,
That's
my
not
God.
true.
Oh, they already have that.
They do?
Yeah, there's places where it's like I'm not sure exactly if it's the Amazon store or not, but they have places like Amazon, the Amazon store in Seattle you go to and basically you just grab whatever you want.
Yeah.
And there's nobody who runs it. And then you just walk out, but it'll ask you if you want a tip. And it's like, you guys didn't do anything. Well, I'm the one here shopping.
Tip?
Yeah, I'm doing all the work, and yet you're asking me to tip you. No, that's not how it works.
Do they know what the word tips means?
Yeah,
Why it's called a tip?
Yeah.
And where is it going? And if you need the price to be higher, just make the price higher, and then I'll make that decision if I want to buy the water. Like, what?
Okay, test. Where'd the word tips come from? Because this is actually the derivation of it. This is where it did come from, which is why this makes no sense.
Seems like a very Cliff Clavin thing to ask. Well, you know there, Sammy.
To ensure prompt service. That's where tips came
Ensure
from.
prompt service.
That's where tips came from. So if you're telling me that a machine will not ensure my prompt service, I got a problem with that.
Yeah.
Your machine must be malfunctioning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big tipper. I got to be honest with you. I don't, I'm not going to tip a machine. That's not going to happen.
No.
Because you don't have to tip, do you?
You don't have to, no.
Okay.
No.
Well, that's good. Self-checkout isn't going anywhere, but there's a criminal defense attorney on TikTok named Carrie Jernigan, or Jernigan it could be, I guess, who says you should never use it. She says it's too risky because you can wind up getting falsely arrested for shoplifting too easily. I didn't know that. Did you know that?
Oh, I know that's not true. I know that's not true. I went to the Target over on University, straight up watched somebody steal and walk out in there.
Really?
Like, I think they're going to be pretty nice to you if you accidentally forget to scan an avocado. Well, maybe not an avocado because they're spendy. But, like, I don't think that's true at all.
Stores have large, sophisticated teams that examine the tapes of self-checkout looking for shoplifters. So if you accidentally take something, once they do inventory and figure out they're off, they'll look through the tapes and report you to the police. Or they could just make a mistake on inventory and wind up falsely accusing you. Either way, you're looking at a legal nightmare that's expensive and stressful. But if you must still use self-checkout, she says to only use it on small orders. Use your credit card for proof of what you paid. Keep your receipt and go slowly so the cameras can see everything you scan. Let's just go to the human. What about that?
No, this lady is making absolutely scare tactics. This is insane. They're not going, trust me, Target literally will not arrest you until you hit a certain number.
Oh, is that right?
Because it's not worth their time.
No, of course not. No.
So the fact that if you're somebody who's shaking and like trying to make sure you get every one of your items and I don't know, like a pack of Skittles falls through, they don't care about it. And obviously if you're trying to do the right thing and a mistake happens, they don't care about that.
Well, they should, because I don't want to pay more because they don't care about it.
It's not that, like, I mean, if you think that the tellers that are also human aren't also making mistakes that we have to cover, I'm just saying that it's rare you're going to make a mistake. And also, if it did, some weird thing happened, they're not going to get, that's...
You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of the scare tactics are when you watch a infomercial and they're always like, are you tired of lighting your arm on fire when you make pasta? And it shows a guy like swinging his hand and it's on fire. And they're like,
pouring milk? Is pouring milk the hardest thing you've ever done? It's like,
like just some dope who doesn't know how to like do any sort of common sense thing in the kitchen. That's what this feels like.
What's the commercial for?
Well, they have like the pasta like bowl that you boil the noodles in, but then it also comes with like the strainer on top.
Oh, okay.
So you can just dump it. And look, it's so easy. You'll never have to worry about lighting yourself on fire again.
I remember the milk one was this like thing you stab into the top of your milk to pour it instead of undoing the cap, pouring it. It was like, what? That was like this like siphon. You just go, boom.
None of that makes any sense to me at all.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that they always show these like buffoons on the infomercials not knowing how to do any. That's why you need this product, because, we're going to scare you. That's why this lady writes this thing on TikTok. You could get arrested. My old man used to throw Diet Coke cases underneath the bottom of the cart, and then we'd go in, he'd pay for everything, and then we'd get out to the car. He'd be like, oh, I guess I forgot to pay for that Diet Coke. And throw it in the trunk. I'm like...
So he always used to do that.
He was terrible.
I was with somebody that did that once with a Red Bull, and I was so mortified.
Oh, I know. It's awful.
Because now you and I get to pay more for everything.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the person was absolutely stealing. Absolutely. This was not oops, I forgot to check it out. Like, I was...
Yeah.
No, well, now I for sure will never use self-checkout. I've never used it, and now I know I never will, because it sounds like a pain in the ass.
I don't think that self-checkout's the problem. That lady wanted to write some scare tactic.
We'll take a break. Be right back in a couple of minutes on MyPillow's 20-year anniversary with over 80 million MyPillows sold. Mike Lindell and the MyPillow employees want to thank each and every one of you by giving you the lowest price in history on their MyPillows. Queen-size MyPillows, regular price is $69.98, now only $19.98, and just $10 more for king-size. MyPillow's patented fill adjusts to your exact individual needs to help you get the best sleep ever. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio podcast square to get Mike's amazing offer on the queen-size MyPillow for only $19.98. Enter promo code TOM. In addition to this special anniversary offer on the MyPillows, you will also receive deep discounts on all MyPillow products such as bed sheets, mattress toppers, pet beds, mattresses, My Slippers, and so much more. Take advantage of the biggest sale in MyPillow's history. Go to MyPillow.com, use promo code TOM to take advantage of Mike's special offer on his MyPillow. That's MyPillow.com, promo code TOM.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? Hi, I'm Dr. Adam Schatzko with MNFatLoss.com, and I know the secret. Our unique weight loss program makes it easy to lose weight, get healthy, and get your energy back naturally, safely, and effectively. If you'd like to lose unhealthy fat without counting points, no exercising, no prepackaged meals, no surgery, and no hypnosis, go online to MNFatLoss.com.
If you're interested in losing weight, I highly recommend the MN Fat Loss Program. I started the program earlier this year. I've lost 28 pounds. Honestly, it's been easy. I don't have to exercise. I eat delicious real food, and I'm not hungry. I recommend the program to anyone wanting to lose weight.
Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month or two. For your free private weight loss consultation, call 763-312-7600 or schedule online at mnfatloss.com. That's mnfatloss.com.
Dr. Adam Schatzko, D.C. Results may vary.
Tom Barnard here for Power Lodge and Miller Marine. Attention all power sports enthusiasts. This August, we invite you to celebrate with Power Lodge as they hit a major milestone, 25 years of bringing action and excitement to Minnesota as your go-to destination for all things marine and power sports. Of course, to say thank you, each of their locations will host a local community appreciation day. It's a great idea. Join Power Lodge in Brainerd, Ramsey, Onamia, or St. Cloud as they roll out the red carpet with delicious food, amazing prizes, fantastic giveaways, and unbeatable special pricing. As the grand prizes, they'll be raffling off a variety of Polaris ATVs and snowmobiles. Check out PowerLodge.com for event dates near you this Saturday, August 12th. Join Hubbard and Ramsey at Power Lodge from noon to 2, win Tom Barnard Morning Show and SKOR North swag. Plus, someone who registers to win on Saturday will score a pair of Gopher Cornhusker home opener football tickets. Ooh, that'd be fun. Great stadium, too. That's on the 31st of August, by the way. Lower level seats and on the 50-yard line. What do you think of that action?
Yeah.
Follow Power Lodge on social media as they unveil 25 days of deals on the latest off-road and on-road vehicles, boats, and supplies from the top brands in power sports. That's right. 25 days of back-to-back incredible offers. You won't want to miss this. Mark your calendar for this Saturday and get in on the action during the 25th anniversary Power Lodge, where throttle therapy begins. And we are joined, ladies and gentlemen, by Kristyn Burtt. There's too much to talk about.
There is a lot to talk about.
I know. So
There's a lot going on in Hollywood.
We're just going to hand it up. When the hell are they going to get it together? Let's go.
Who's going to get what together? Hollywood?
Yeah.
Well, we got a strike going on. So that's going to go on. Everyone's predicting December. That's when it's going to wrap.
Really? Another 5 months almost?
Yeah. The rumors out there are, obviously the writers met with the producers in the studios last Friday, and it was a meeting for a meeting to this is what we want to discuss. Can we get back to negotiations? And they couldn't even agree on that. So I think it was just one of those situations where everyone has an agenda and no one's willing to budge on either side. And until that happens, nothing's going to happen. But there's another little secret thing that a lot of people don't realize. A lot of writers have these deals, and they, for production deals to create shows and everything else. And within the union contracts, if nothing happens within 6 months, the studios are allowed to kill all of those deals, and then everyone starts at zero. And I think that the studios are waiting for all the contracts to run out so that then they don't have any writers to pay on these expensive deals, and they don't have to worry about it. They can start from zero again.
So just hire cheaper people?
Nope. They will eventually then settle the strike, and then they will, go, hey, this is the budget that we have now.
Oh, okay.
Times are different. We don't have that $100 million production deal for you. We can offer you $10 million.
Oh, God. That's a little drop.
It's a drop. It's going to be a drop. And, it's interesting watching all of the quarterly reports coming back from the studios. They're like, we saved $100 million. Well, guys, it's because you're on strike. So they're like, we did better than expected. And I'm like, this is not a good spin, to be honest.
I don't understand how they could celebrate that, because you're not going to make any money unless you give the people something to watch or buy. I've never understood that. Hey, no, you didn't make $100 million. You just didn't spend $100 million.
Yeah, right.
It's a big difference.
Exactly. And that's the problem, because it's like 6 months from now, there is going to be a lack of content.
Yes.
We already know that's happening on linear TV, the ABCs, the CBSs, the NBCs, but it will hit the streamers. The streamers right now just are like, we still have plenty. It's fine. Let the strike go on. But it's really not good business for anyone. It's not good business for Los Angeles at all.
Yeah,
and
sure.
Everybody I've talked to has said they're feeling it in some way, shape, or form. It's affected some of their work. It's affected how their income stream is happening. People who own businesses are saying people aren't coming in as much. People aren't getting takeout.
Right.
People aren't getting their hair done. The only thing that seems to be going well, and this one I think is fascinating, plastic surgeons are seeing an uptick in facelifts right now.
Yes, because you have time off.
You have time off. And so I'm like, I cannot wait to see all of the new faces when we return from this strike.
Yes, nothing is more bougie than having a vacay and getting work done.
Yes, and it's interesting because they were saying, well, if it was going to be a short strike, like the plastic surgeons, and we're talking about the A and B list clients, we're talking about the people that aren't going to be affected by this strike because they can wait it out. But they were like, okay, if it's a short strike, we're just going to do like this amount of work. But it's looking like a long strike, so hey, we're going to do the full works, get everything done. And some of the plastic surgeons in town, they're saying, I'm working on weekends to accommodate this because that many people are coming in.
What an amazing position we're in. I won't do it yet because I don't want to get too far off topic, but I do have a question for you about one of the people. And we're looking at things like, well, Catherine and I got lucky because we were very busy running around for a few years there, so we didn't see things like Succession and Righteous Gemstones. So we're starting brand new with 3 or 4 seasons of those shows. So Catherine and I are going to have a lot of stuff to watch because we're going to catch up with everybody else.
Yeah, there's going to be plenty of content to catch up on for people. I think it's just for the person that really does spend, 5 hours a day in front of the TV.
Yeah.
They're going to be upset. And I think if there's a show that you love, and you're waiting for that next season to come out, these are going to be massively delayed. It's going to be likely a solid year to 18 months before we see some of these shows again. So, if it's your Emily in Paris, the Stranger Things, we're just waiting. I mean, these kids are going to be 45 years old by the time they finish up the final season of Stranger Things. And, there's a timeline because these kids have grown up so much between the pandemic delay and now the strike delay. There may have to be some alterations on the storyline.
And then I got to believe that the pandemic slowed them down for a couple of years too, right?
Yeah, there was a solid 6-month shutdown with the pandemic before everyone started to figure out what the regulations were. How do we do this safely? And so there was that first set of rules. Some productions came back with that. Like the soaps were the first to return. They were actually using either the actor's spouse to make out with them or they would use mannequins. I mean, they did what they could.
That's
and they would shoot it from behind. But remember, this was the time before vaccines when we thought the vaccine was the cure-all to COVID. And productions did what they could with the tools that they had. I mean, it's funny now. And I mean, anyone that goes back and probably researches it will laugh, but
yeah, I mean,
it was a tough time. LA was just coming back and, now all of a sudden we have this again. And this is a big setback in terms of financial dollars to the city of Los Angeles.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty tough 4-year run right there, isn't it? When you go all the way back. I mean, man.
It is. And there's a lot of people who weathered through the really tough time with COVID because there was federal money to sort of help them through. There's not money here. I mean, there are charity funds that you can go to, like the Actors Fund, which I now think is the Entertainment Fund. You also have SAG-AFTRA Foundation. If you need help paying your mortgage or paying your rent, they can assist with that. But you're not getting a weekly stipend with unemployment like people did during the pandemic.
Yeah,
and a lot of people are saying, it's enough. It's time for me to move to a different sector, different stage of my career. I've got to leave the entertainment industry behind. And we're going to lose a lot of creatives because of this.
That's terrible news.
It's sad. It's
we were just talking
incredibly sad.
Earlier this morning talking about television's never been better. Never.
It was. We're exiting. We are now exiting the golden age.
Yes, we are.
That's what we need to remember, because the last 5 years or so with streaming, they've been throwing all this money at streamers, whether they're successful or not, sometimes giving an unsuccessful series a second season because, it got a couple Emmy nominations, and that's the prestige. So prestige television really entered the picture. That's not going to happen anymore. This is like everyone putting the brakes on the big budgets, and this is the studio saying we don't have the money, but they're not being transparent about the ratings, and the studio and the unions are saying we need to know what these ratings are so we can ask for a fair wage on these shows. So that's where everyone's at a standstill.
Okay, my big sad question, you got to answer this properly or I'm hanging up on you. Is Jeremy Renner ever coming back?
Oh yeah.
God,
he's been spotted out and about, and it looks like his recovery is really going well.
Glad to hear it.
Yeah. He's definitely, he's like up and about and moving, and I believe he's moving around without any walking aids or anything. So
great.
He's obviously taken physical therapy very seriously. Obviously has the best doctors around him, and right now he just can't do anything because it's a strike.
Because there's a strike, but he will be coming because I really, really enjoy him.
He will. And, for him, he's probably one of the few people where this pause, it was probably best for him. Because he didn't have to worry about production. There was going to be a delay regardless. So he can take that time to heal up and regain his strength.
I'm still trying to figure out which one is the mayor of Kingstown and which one is the Kingstown. There are two shows with almost the same name, one with a woman and one with a man.
The mayor, Mayor
of Easttown?
Yeah,
Mayor of Easttown. That one was with Kate Winslet.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mayor of Easttown.
It's so easy to get those confused.
And what's the other one?
Mayor of Kingstown.
So it's Mayor of Kingstown and Mayor of Easttown.
And one is Mayor. M-A-R-E.
M-A-R-E.
Yeah. But for the longest time, I didn't know that when people were saying Mayor of Easttown. Yeah.
It's just why would they do that to two series, name them almost the same thing?
They're monsters because they want us to be so confused all the time.
They want us to do this a little bit and promote them.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. But yeah, we're having a great time, Catherine and I, catching up with everybody else. We're about 3 years behind everybody else, but it looks like we're probably going to finish that up just about the time that the production comes back.
Yeah, production hopefully will. I'm hoping that they kind of wrap up. Ideally, if they can wrap up in the strike in November, they will be able to get like a couple of productions back into going before the holiday break, and they can get some writers back to the room to get started on episodes so that when everyone comes back from holiday break, everyone's like full force, 1,000 miles ahead. But if you don't get it wrapped up until December, it's not going to happen because Hollywood goes on break right around December 15th. Mm-hmm. They break early.
Oh, Kristyn, did you see that Kevin Spacey trailer?
Uh-oh.
Kevin Spacey, I don't know why he's trying for a comeback.
Did you watch the trailer?
I didn't watch the trailer, no.
Oh, it's Tom. Out of all movies he was picked, the whole premise behind this is somebody's in a smart car and he's controlling the smart car, and it's all about you don't have control, and it's his voice, and it's like you just got accused of having like manipulating people and all these things, and the first movie you take back, you're sitting here at this voiceover that's like I'm in control now, and the movie's called Control.
Ish.
Is that the one that came out of Europe? Because Hollywood's not hiring him right now.
Yeah, but it has a U.S. release date.
Well, that's, I mean, it's going to he's going to make a comeback because it's like, he hasn't been found guilty in a court of law. There will always be people who will hire him. Yep. It's like Woody Allen. Woody Allen still gets distribution for his films, but they're overseas. And then they slowly make their way somehow onto streaming or make their way to the U.S.
Let's just say this would not, if I was somebody in his corner, this would not be the movie I would pick right out of the gate. It is so awkward to hear him go on and on about how he is dangerous and controls this woman. It's terrible.
Do you know who else is trying? There's a couple of men trying to make a comeback. This is so interesting that you brought it up because you've got Kevin Spacey. Now, obviously, his criminal trials are over, and those trials have turned out in his favor. You have Chris Noth, who played big on Sex and the City,
Yep.
he is now making a comeback. He just did a big interview with USA Today because he's doing some type of mental health campaign. And he's saying the only thing I'm guilty of is stepping out of my marriage and having affairs. None of these were all consensual. None of them were violent or anything else. There was not sexual assault.
Yeah.
And there's no criminal charges, so you can't prove that. You know, it's a tough situation for him because it's the he said, she said. So he's leaning into like, I just had a bunch of affairs, my poor wife. And Matt Lauer from the Today Show is also trying to make a comeback. I think he's probably going to try with a podcast, but he has been like planting seeds in Page Six. And they're like, look at Matt Lauer's doing this and that. And he's been with his girlfriend X amount of years. And I'm like, these will be really interesting to watch to see if people are willing to accept them back into the pop culture landscape.
So what did he do?
Matt Lauer.
Yeah.
Matt Lauer also had office affairs that were also, from the women's perspective, were sexual assault.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, that's why he got fired from the Today Show.
Man. 2023, you're still sexually assaulting women. What the hell?
Listen, Days of Our Lives just had a massive scandal that went down over the last 2 weeks, and it finally led to the firing of their co-executive producer and director, Albert Alar. And what wound up happening on this one, he was that he had been accused of creating like a really bad atmosphere on set, sexual assault, sexual harassment, and it went on for years. And there was no HR representative on the set because, and a lot of people don't realize this, but when NBC moved the Tonight Show to New York, they gave up that building and someone else bought the studio. But Days of Our Lives stayed in that particular studio to film their show. But NBC didn't bring an HR representative down there just to make sure all the cast members were doing okay. And it just kind of festered on and on. Finally, there were enough complaints about this particular person. And Sony did an investigation and they're like, we reprimanded him. He's going to go to like anger management. And the cast rebelled. They signed a petition and said, no, we're not going back to set.
Wow.
And they had to shut down production twice over this. And he was finally let go last week. And by the way, Albert Alar was doing this while his wife was also on staff.
No
so
way.
It's not like his wife is at home or in a different office building. She was also a crew member on Days of Our Lives, which makes it even more shocking.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Okay, if you are going to say the name of that show, you're going to have to say it properly.
Days of Our Lives?
Yes.
Or These are the Days of Our Lives.
Nope, you got to say it like Fred Sanford.
I don't know how to say that.
You don't remember Fred Sanford talking about that show every day to his son Lamont?
It's a little. I didn't watch the show. First run, I wasn't born.
Yeah, you probably weren't born first run. Every time he was, hey, Fred, what are you doing? Watching Days of Our Lives. That's how he said it every time. Days of Our Lives. It was phenomenal. You guys should look back into history and learn things, don't you think?
I have not watched a lot of Sanford and Son. I bet that it's on
show,
Tubi
actually.
or Pluto.
What's that?
I bet it's on Tubi or Pluto.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure it
is. The reruns are on there.
Well,
because otherwise I wouldn't have caught it. I mean, it's not like it's on streaming, but I'm sure one of those free networks have it.
Yeah, man, because that's what I do a lot of is I go back and, watch shows that I never even heard of. They were on before I was old enough to even care. Mm-hmm. I love going back and watching, if you do go back and watch the Lucy show, I'm assuming.
I've watched it plenty of times. I'm like, okay, I'm tapped out on Lucy for a while in our household.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you've had a little. She lives with a real life Ricky Ricardo, so I think she's done her research.
Could I be Fred Mertz?
You can be Fred Mertz. Yeah, that would be perfect.
House. Lucy, what are you doing today?
Catherine's Ethel.
Nah, she wouldn't take that role. No, it's not going to happen. But yeah, so like I said, right now for us, we're just catching up with all the rest of you, watching great things, really enjoying watching television together. Catherine and I are. It'll last till the end of the year, and then we'll see what happens after that, I guess. If it gets better, it gets worse, who knows?
Yeah, I just think that this is a major shift in the industry, and it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. You've got, the unions trying to sort of gather around in numbers. You have reality stars from TV shows trying to join the union. I think that's going to kind of be an interesting aspect to it, because here's what I find fascinating about all of this. Reality stars are like, we're tired of our image being used over and over and not getting residuals. You guys are making a ton of money, but reality shows are what the networks have always relied upon if there is a slowdown in the industry, or if there is a strike, or if there's a pandemic. And now reality stars are saying no more. So it's going to be fascinating to see. This is being led by Brian Friedman and Mark Garagos, pretty high-powered lawyers. We'll see if they make any headway. And of course, Bethany Frankel is leading the way on that. I don't know, Britt, have you any thoughts on that?
Oh yeah, so I actually been listening to a lot of Rewives, her podcast that's doing pretty well. And then her big push to have reality stars own their property. Even though I have a love-hate relationship with Bethany, I get so annoyed with her, and then I'm like, she's not wrong, but God, does she? I don't know what it is.
Polarizing. She's polarizing. She's sent a lot of mixed messages over the years.
Yeah.
She is on the right side of this particular fight. And I think too many people are like, oh, she's just bitter that Bravo's not hiring her anymore, blah, blah, blah. She'd go back in a heartbeat.
I wouldn't say that, because here's the thing is they tried to get her on Legacy. They tried to get her. I mean, Andy Cohen and her have a good relationship, and she could go back anytime she wanted. I think she's always wanted to make a reality show on her terms. It's just doesn't exist in that realm. I think that's where she gets a little bitter, is she wants to be both Andy Cohen and Bethany Frankel, and she can't be.
Right. She likes the power of it all. But I do think her organizing, and I think right now they have over 80, almost 100 stars who have stepped forward and said, yeah, I'd love to unionize here. I think like this is the right time. If they don't do it now, they're actually going to get passed over again. Like this is the opportunity to do it.
That's a really good point.
I might have to sue someone.
Oh. Who are you going to sue?
I won't say who it is, but there is a sports channel that's using my voice, and I haven't gotten a check from them in years.
Oh.
What the hell's that all about?
Interesting.
I didn't even know it was still running. I had no idea it was still running, but I was looking around for an event. And I'm like, Jesus, I got that thing about, I don't know how many years ago. It was a long time ago.
Did you do it under a SAG contract?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you need to just call SAG.
Let's go. Get off your ass.
Yeah, let them know that it's running. And I've had to do that before. And then you go and you get your money. Yeah. Yeah, they'll chase after them.
Why don't they just pay their bills for Oh, that's right. They don't have any money. Never mind.
Yeah, just go and chase after them.
Just for the hell of it.
Well, SAG will chase after them. That's what you pay them for with your union dues.
That's true. You're absolutely right about it. But I was surprised by that because I had no idea. I'm listening and it's like, that's me. I didn't even know that was still running.
That's crazy. That must be a weird feeling.
It is. Well, yeah, it's
it
pretty
happens way more than you realize, too.
I bet.
And that's the thing. Like you can track it too. There's certain sites. I think it's iSpot. You can track some of your. It's not for voiceover, but if you've done any like TV commercials with your image, you can see when it last ran and things like that. I've gone and tracked my commercials there, and then gone to SAG saying, "Hey, my contract ended with this, but it's still running. Where's my money?"
Cough up. That's all I'm telling you.
Yeah, get them.
All right, young lady, we will talk to you later on today with the family.
You bet. See you tomorrow.
Thanks a lot. Kristyn Burtt, ladies and gentlemen. We'll take a break. Be right back. Chris Egert, from Kristyn to Chris. See, look at that.
See?
Nice crossover. We'll be right back. Chris Egert will join us right after this. Tom Barnard here for Power Lodge and Miller Marine. Attention all Power Lodge sports enthusiasts. This August, we invite you to celebrate with Power Lodge as they hit a major milestone. 25 years of bringing action and excitement to Minnesota as your go-to destination for all things marine and power sports. To say thank you, each of our locations will host a local community appreciation day. Join Power Lodge in Brainerd, Ramsey, Onamia, or St. Cloud as they roll out the red carpet with delicious food, amazing prizes, fantastic giveaways, and unbeatable special pricing. As the grand prizes, they'll be raffling off a variety of Polaris ATVs and snowmobiles. Check out powerlodge.com for event dates near you, I should say. This Saturday, August 12th, join Hubbard in Ramsey at Power Lodge from noon to 2 with Tom Barnard and SKOR North swag. Plus, someone who registered to win on Saturday will score a pair of Gophers Cornhusker home opener football tickets. That'd be a hell of a game, I would think. Lower level seats, too, by the way, on the 50-yard line. What do you think of that action? Follow Power Lodge on social media as they unveil 25 days of deals on the latest off-road and on-road vehicles, boats, and supplies from the top brands in power sports. That's right, 25 days of back-to-back incredible offers. You won't want to miss this. Mark your calendar for this Saturday and get in on the action during the 25th anniversary Power Lodge, where throttle therapy begins.
The new Tom Barnard Morning Show is proud to have partners like Bradshaw & Bryant, MyPillow, and North American Banking Company founder, chairman, and president, Mike Bilski.
I've advertised on Tom's show for years, and the reason is simple. My business is recognized because of the ads, and that recognition has created growth. What business doesn't want to grow? I highly recommend the Tom Barnard Morning Show for your advertising.
Grow results for your business by partnering with the Tom Barnard Morning Show. Visit TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner.
You need to know a guy for your auto repairs, legal issues, banking, and more. The same goes for investment advice. You need a guy to help you be successful, someone you can trust, who gets results. Well, I got a guy for you. Josh Arnold. Josh gives you straight talk, not sugar-coated advice about your financial situation. Josh has seen it all when it comes to economic and market conditions, and Josh can make sure that your retirement objectives match your investments. Do yourself a favor and call Josh now for a no-obligation, 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll get a different point of view for your investments. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That is 952-925-5608. You'll be glad that you did. And tell him his guy, Tom, sent you.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
On MyPillow's 20-year anniversary with over 80 million pillows sold, Mike Lindell and the MyPillow employees want to thank each and every one of you by giving you the lowest price in history on their MyPillows. Queen-size MyPillow's regular price is $69.98, now only $19.98 and just $10 more for king size. MyPillow's patented fill adjusts your exact individual needs to help you get the best sleep ever. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio podcast square to get Mike's amazing offer on the queen-size MyPillow for only $19.98. Enter promo code TOM. In addition to this special anniversary offer on the MyPillows, you will also receive deep discounts on all MyPillow products such as bed sheets, mattress toppers, pet beds, mattresses, My Slippers, and so much more. Take advantage of the biggest sale in MyPillow's history. Go to MyPillow.com, use promo code TOM to take advantage of Mike's special offer on his MyPillow. That's MyPillow.com, promo code TOM.
And now it's time for What Did Brittany Say Next? See if you can guess what Brittany said next.
This did not feel like 3 hours.
No.
But if you say it felt like 3 hours, like.
What did Brittany say next? If you said
Zooey Mama,
you're right. Now back to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Boy, that's wild.
Oh, that's what I was going to say.
Oh, you say that all the time.
I know.
Oh, man. That's wild.
That's what I thought I was going to say either brutal or wild in that. So that's why I was like shocked.
Zooey Mama.
Zooey Mama.
You see the great life that I have, Mr. Happy Pants?
I do, Tom, I do. I see it on your face.
Absolutely. Just the pleasure of it all. There's no question about it.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, news brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh for your free 48-minute financial evaluation. Chris Egert with us. I did not have a chance to watch the news this morning because I always watch the 5 Eyewitness News when I get up, but I went for a couple of mile walk instead because it was so nice out. I want to try to get a little exercise in.
Good for you. I'm glad you went for a walk. It's a beautiful day.
It was absolutely magnificent. But I would like to know, what were the headlines on Channel 5 today?
The big deal this morning is the Minneapolis Police Chief has decided to restructure the Minneapolis Police Department and to try to make some institutional changes to sort of move the city in the right direction ever since the George Floyd murder. So that was kind of the big story today, last couple of days actually. So.
And what is the right direction?
Well, that's a good question. It's dividing it into 2 different departments. And one of them will be overseeing basically like all of these things that have come from the Justice Department and administrative type deals, and then the other side will be sort of what you typically think of the police department. So I don't know. It's very wonky to me, and I guess as a lay person, I don't really understand how that gets us moving in the right direction, but that's what they seem to think.
Well, everything now is political, and it's just driving me. Everybody gets their political opinion in there. It's like, that's not your job to put your personal politics in an argument over who's doing right and who's doing wrong. Get your head out of your ass and do your job. How about that?
Yeah.
That ain't going to happen.
Government, politics, I don't know. It's, you know how that goes.
I do. I don't think maybe it's happened before because I wasn't around for the first, couple hundred years or whatever the hell it was. But our government right now, and I'm talking about the city, state, and national level, is the shakiest it's ever been. God, it's weird.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel that way, but then I question myself too, and then I'm like, is it really that we're in that much trouble, or is it because everybody has an outlet to voice their frustrations with things? And maybe back in the day they didn't have that. You'd sit in the bar, you'd sit across you'd sit in the bar and have an ale with your friend in the old log cabin and bitch about, Paul Revere or what. I mean, I'm just
all the time I bitch about Paul Revere. I still do.
Terrible example, but you get what I'm saying. Like, no, I don't know that we had that as an outlet for conversation about these kinds of things. Now the conversations like this happen on social media, and I don't know. Is it louder than what it really? I don't know. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. We've talked about that many times before and have for years. That eventually the internet's going to destroy the world. Everybody thinks they're such a big deal now because of the internet. It's like, calm down. Look at all my followers. Ooh, good for you.
I know I kind of keep falling back on that as it's like my excuse for everything. It's like, well, these damn phones, no matter what it is, I'm at that point, but I don't, as an observer of this for 25 years, it's just what I see. It's
yeah.
I have seen people's attitudes change, and
no doubt
people are there's less humanity. I think people are not willing to have a kind of casual conversation and have disagreements on things, but yet come to some kind of an understanding. You don't do that anymore.
No, you don't do that at all. And we're talking about that an hour and a half ago at the beginning of the show. Yeah. People are much ruder. They're much more selfish than they've ever been. It's disgusting, and it's because of the internet.
I think we should all just go to live up north in some place where there's no signal.
No,
get a canoe.
That's where I'm going. You guys stay out of there.
There you go.
Stay here.
You, Rudy.
I got a spot up there already picked out. Don't you be coming marking your territory on my spot.
I don't know if I'd call Anoka up there, but Oh,
I'm way further than Anoka. I'm going the border.
Don't tell us your spot.
I'm getting as far away as I possibly can.
Get up there, right at Lake of the Woods, baby.
Yeah.
I don't know. So the thing at the Minneapolis Police Department, there's been all this push for reform and all this push for change in the wake of what happened with George Floyd. And I think they, as an administration, feel like this is going to be able to help them to better govern their own department and to ultimately do a better job for the people of Minneapolis. I guess we'll see, right?
We shall see. I just really wish people would stop committing crimes at an all-time high level.
That's interesting you bring that up, because we just had a story this morning that Ramsey County and St. Paul carjackings and car thefts are way down.
What good? Oh yeah,
That's
I
great.
did see that story. Yeah. I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
And why is
down
that?
considerably.
Do they know why?
Social media.
Yes, because I steal stuff on social media.
They have they took some federal money and started up these like special programs to specifically target that stuff and stop it before it happens, including like surveilling areas, or I even got the impression people who they knew were known to be people who were in cahoots with all that business.
Right.
So, and yes, I just said cahoots because I'm 100 years old.
Hey, it works for me. I like cahoots. I don't even know what cahoots means, but I like
I don't know either, but I wanted to see what Brittany would react after I said cahoots. I can't believe you didn't say anything.
I just have to laugh. Cahoots. And then, I mean, you're all over the board. Yesterday you said the word slooty, and I didn't even realize it. That is not a term I thought you would know. That's very funny. So,
oh, you didn't know what the Brittany the Chipmunk, you didn't know the term slooty?
I knew it. I just was shocked when I rewatched the clip that you said that word. I was just, you're just so cool.
Yeah, right. I'm always trying to sneak things in there. And this, now I have this story for you guys, and I don't know. I feel like we've officially run out of things to go after people for. The DNR is talking about cracking down on mushroom foraging in state parks.
What?
I saw that, yes.
Oh, my God. This land is your land. This land is my land.
My friend, the friends that I have on social media that post about going around and getting mushrooms are like the most innocent, sweet people. They're rarely wearing shoes.
Yeah.
It's a whole vibe. Yeah, what?
What's the argument?
I think they don't want the state parks to be over harvested. So they're just talking about it. They haven't made it official yet, but they're talking about limiting people to 1 gallon bag of mushrooms when they go foraging, which apparently is pissing off a lot of the mushroom people. As pissed off as they can be.
I have a question for you. How long would an entire bag of mushrooms even last anyway?
All I can tell you is I had 4 random morel mushrooms that grew on my patio last year.
Yeah.
And I harvested them and I cut them up and ate them on pizza. And I think the next day I got like some gastrointestinal distress.
Okay, Chris, that story, I did not know where it was going. I can't believe you ate those mushrooms.
Well, that's what people do.
Yeah, but it's not like the ones on your deck that are like growing.
No, they were morel.
Oh, okay. Because I feel like the combination of what the runoff of what do you put on your yard, things like that, it would not be the vibe, my friend.
Listen, I asked a mushroom expert, and yes, there are mushroom experts. Tom, you ever do any mushroom foraging?
No, I do not. I don't like mushrooms.
You don't like them, period?
Nope.
I didn't know that about you.
They either have no taste. I don't know. It's not that they taste bad or anything. Just they don't do anything for them.
I agree. They have to be coupled with something, like onions or something to be able. Like if you put like a caramelized onion with some mushrooms on top of a steak.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm on board. But the rest, I don't get. Like the people who go out and forage mushrooms, you can buy a carton of them for $1.98 at Cub.
Right.
Like why would you go sit walking through the woods to go find mushrooms?
I do. I really like mushrooms, and when people say they don't like them, I always have to be like specific, going like, if I have it in something, that won't throw you off, Tom? Like that wouldn't.
Oh, no. I don't hate them. They just don't have really any, to me, they don't have any flavor. So, as Rudy said, you throw a little onion on there or maybe some little butter. Definitely.
Yeah, butter makes everything better.
I think they take the flavor of whatever they're sort of surrounded by. I don't know, though. It just, like, the mushroom people are mad. Understandably, like how many people are foraging, and then are we going to set up a division of mushroom patrol within the DNR that are going to go out, and the mushroom police are going to be patrolling the forests and stopping you, or are you going to have to get a mushroom license? Like where does it go from here?
Maybe if they can make money off your mushroom license, they're going to do it.
I mean, honestly, that's kind of where I think it. I would like to be a mushroom policeman.
Do you wear like a little toad hat?
You think that would be a kind of low-key law enforcement job? Yet it's DNR, so it probably pays pretty well.
Like nobody's dying on the job, you're saying?
Yeah, like you're not confronting the hardest of the hardened criminals. You're confiscating mushrooms from people.
You have an advantage because you could chase them without and they're wearing a flowy skirt and no shoes, like you think you could take them on. Is that what you're saying?
That's weird.
Mushroom police. I could just see Egert right now with his back up against a oak tree, holding his gun, being like, I don't have time for backup. Just shoulder rolling over some foliage.
I was supposed to retire tomorrow. It was supposed to be my last day.
I'm too old for this shit.
75-year-old guy with like those little round glasses is over there foraging a mushroom, and I tackle him and throw him to the ground.
Yeah. Tom, if you're not a mushroom guy, what kind of veggies do you like?
Vegetable. Well, it's not that I don't like mushrooms. I just don't love them like most people. Some people love them.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a big asparagus guy. I like asparagus. I like Brussels sprouts. I like that kind of stuff. Tomatoes are phenomenal. I love tomatoes.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, the Brussels sprout with just a little burnt edge.
Oh, yeah. You gotta.
That's where it is. A little olive oil. Yeah.
Yep. No, that stuff, I really, really like all that stuff. Big mashed potato guy. Love that. French fries we'll go with, but you can't mention those because they're a little high in fat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where are you at on cauliflower, Tom?
Oh, great question. Great question. I want to know because
What are you, cracked? She's applauding my response to a cauliflower.
No, I want to know that was my follow-up. I was actually going to talk about cauliflower.
I don't know that I've ever eaten it.
What?
Unless it's an ingredient in something, but like flat out. You mean like buttered on your plate?
Yeah, like
I've never
you can put
had
it in
it.
the air fryer. You can put it in the oven.
Never had it.
I've got to talk
Unless
to
it was
Catherine.
part of something else that I didn't notice.
Where do you fall, Chris?
I think it's an abomination.
I knew you were going to go that route because I'm a huge fan of cauliflower.
Yeah. I liked rice cauliflower. I can't eat just like a piece of raw cauliflower. It's too much.
No.
Well, like, nobody's eating raw cauliflower unless you get like those big dip things. But like, if you put a little olive oil, throw that in the air fryer, cauliflower, is so good.
Yeah.
I like lettuce. How about
Same.
that? Does
I
that
just
count?
ate a salad, actually.
But do you go iceberg or do you go romaine?
Both.
Both.
Arugula.
Okay.
Yeah, arugula's good too.
Arugula's solid.
We like that stuff. Now let's get back to the main part of it. What do you got for meat? Thank you very much. Great to be here.
Steak.
No, honest to God,
Can't
a
beat a
steak,
steak.
some mashed potatoes, and some asparagus. I'm the happiest guy on earth.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Kind of hard to, although this is not the healthy option, but it's kind of hard to beat fried chicken too.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
Boy, chicken's good. Chicken maybe is the best it's ever been, to tell you the truth, the way they prepare it. Leave it in the stores. You can get the 4-piece. You can get the 8-piece. It's phenomenal.
My stepdad is the grumpiest person in the world, and you give him like some fried chicken and he turns into a different person.
Sure. I feel that.
Now, I got to ask you, white meat, dark meat, does it matter?
I can go both ways. I don't know about the rest of you.
Me
Yeah,
too.
I can too. And I think it's funny when people have really strong preferences, but maybe because you come from a big family. I come from a big family, and you just take whatever. I always go, I'll whatever. I don't care.
I'll eat that crap underneath the bottom side of the chicken.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I like thighs, but that weird stuff that's like kind of in his back, and I'm like, I'll put that off.
What the hell did you bring that up
It's like
for?
the plywood of chicken. You just kind of like grab a lot of little of it and just go.
Right, like,
Throws it into a wood chipper. He's like, well, whatever comes out, that's what we're eating tonight, kids.
Although I got to be honest with you, chicken wings are my favorite by far.
Oh, they're so
by
good.
far.
Yeah.
Love them.
flats or rounds?
What's flats or rounds? What does that mean?
So like the leg or the thigh?
No.
Oh, sorry, the leg or the wing. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you know how it looks like a chicken drummy? You know, like
Yeah.
But then there's the other ones that are like the flat ones. Yeah.
The wings, I
The
like.
wing, yeah,
I like
yeah.
the wings better than the drumstick.
Sure.
I mean, I don't mind the drumstick, don't get me wrong. I just like the chicken wing. Man, you get some chicken wings prepared and you sit there on the deck on a beautiful day. There's nothing better than chicken wings.
When I eat chicken wings, I want to eat them by myself. I don't want somebody around.
Yeah.
It's not a flattering thing to eat with people.
No, you might as well just get up out of a beanbag chair in front of somebody. If you're trying to, put one over
With
on
your
them,
shirt
yeah,
off.
it's awful because you make a mess of yourself and you just look terrible.
You guys, do you know how to eat a chicken wing, for Christ's sake?
No, obviously.
What's the big
You
disaster?
got a bunch of sauce on it.
Yeah.
You're just
I don't put sauce on mine.
Oh, so yeah, if you go straight buffalo, I love buffalo wings.
Buffalo wings are good.
It's good. And the best way to eat them is to just go whole hog and just get it all over the place. Yeah.
Well, there's a guy doing that about, I guess, 2 weeks ago at the next table. He was eating his chicken wings like this.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God, that
I just love that so much when you're eating with your mouth open. That's wonderful.
Freaking heathen.
Yeah. Oh, there was a kid on the bus in Portland who was he looked like Napoleon Dynamite, just chewing on a piece of pizza.
Oh.
And I was like, I'm so envious of you.
Yeah.
I want to be you so bad, but I am so self-conscious. Just not a care in the world, mustard stain on his shirt, just chowing on not even a good piece of pizza, like a crusty old Domino's. Yeah.
He was high.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Yeah, that whole deal. The chicken breast is good, but chicken breast, I do have to have something with that, like a barbecue sauce or something, because chicken breast can be a little too dry.
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah, it's true. No, but I eat all parts of the chicken. That's good stuff. No question about it.
What would you guys think about something called a Barbie sauce?
Is that like barbecue?
No. Geno's Cheesesteak in New York, world famous.
Sure.
They got in on this whole Barbie craze, and they came up with this like pink. They're calling it Barbie Malibu Barbie Dream Drizzle, and they're putting it on their cheesesteaks for to get in on this whole Barbie craze. We had a picture of it this morning. It looked horrid.
A pink sauce is
like
rough.
a pink goo all over a delicious looking cheesesteak.
Yeah, that's a rough one. I'm sure it tastes fine, right? Because it's probably just a mayo based with a little bit of
dragon fruit and big punches of garlic and chili, apparently. I know.
Ugh.
What a way to ruin a delicious sandwich.
I have a question for you. How do you get away with using somebody's, because I guarantee you Barbie's owned by somebody.
Mattel.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mattel. Yeah, there you go. They're not going to be too happy with you naming a dish after their doll, are they?
Plus, it's kind of creepy. Malibu Barbie Dream Drizzle.
Yeah, how much Barbie is in it?
Yeah, I've seen that movie.
Is that buffalo sauce or is it? Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
it's a nice touch.
Yeah, we had that one on the news this morning, and folks were chuckling about the dream drizzle.
Yeah, I don't like anything that if the color of it doesn't necessarily exist in nature. I get that there's like pink roses and pink flowers, but it's not something that you would eat. That's why I like mustard. When you break it down, it's yellow. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's why I like it.
Yeah.
I feel that.
We got pink salmon. You could go the salmon instead of the other deal.
Yeah, the color of a fish, absolutely. But the sauce, I don't see pink sauce anywhere.
Yeah.
Ketchup is made from tomatoes, which are also red. You know, so.
Yeah, that stuff works for me. I don't know. I like cheesesteak. Just leave it alone.
Yeah.
It's like we're all thumbs down on Barbie's dream drizzle.
Yeah.
You know what though? Like if it was here, would I eat it?
Probably.
Not in front of you guys. I'd turn around.
Yeah.
I'd have the dream drizzle all over.
I agree with Tom. I didn't realize the cheesesteak was broken. Why do we need to fix that?
That's so
what
true.
the hell?
That's so
It's true.
Chris, if you're about to go on air and you're going to eat something messy, do you wear like a whole tarp, or is that something you can avoid?
I won't eat before I go on the air.
Oh.
Good move.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
it makes my. You guys, I'm sure you get that. Maybe not. Like it makes my throat, and I get kind of like my voice isn't as good after I eat.
Didn't you just tell us you ate a salad and you're about to go on air in 20 minutes?
At 7:01, and I won't go on the air until 9.
Okay. All right. I see the buffer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get that. If I eat and then go on the air, the whole show I'll talk like this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
It changes my voice completely. I sound like a hitman when I do that. I didn't realize when I ate and went on the air, I sounded like I was going to kill someone. But I understand exactly. I don't understand how people get up and eat a huge breakfast and then go do a morning show.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't either. Plus, you got to. Well, I'm too much. I'm not going to say it.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to say poop? Is you going to say? Were you going to say?
Come on, you can't get up and eat a big breakfast and then go sit in one spot for the next 4 hours. Listen, that ain't going to work out.
Yeah.
That's when you got to go put in frickin' some Eagles song or something, so you've got enough time to be able to go to the bathroom.
I just got an insight. Like you take a while to poop because I like. Why is it a big deal to poop during a commercial?
I don't want to put myself under that pressure. I don't know what you like. You guys are used to that. I don't like that pressure.
All right, good to know.
What do you mean we're used to it?
Well, with radio, you gotta go in between the breaks, and you become accustomed to being able to do that.
We can't do it on this show. You can go pee, but that's as good as it gets.
Oh, there's no way you'd have time to.
No way.
Well, also every stall is friggin' filled up
That's
every
true.
time you walk into that bathroom.
It's absolutely
Guy
true.
is just in there destroying it. You're like, did I just walk into a sauna? Why is it so hot in here? It's awful. It's awful. Oh, it's terrible.
They're laying down a bunt the whole time.
Yes.
It's really thrilling. Really thrilling. There's no question about it, ladies and gentlemen. So that's all we have to say to you.
I stopped eating before shows and stuff after Chris. His guy's name is Chris. He plays guitar for the Foo Fighters. Obviously, you guys know the band, but he told a story about how, and he told us this when he was in town once, and then he told it on a podcast, but they were about to go out and play Wembley Stadium.
Very cool.
Yeah, 70,000 people were there to see the Foo Fighters. And 4 minutes before they go on, Chris reaches over and he grabs a buffalo wing. And he eats it, and he wipes his hand on his napkin, and then reached up and he like rubbed his eye, and he got buffalo sauce in his eye as the lights are going down at Wembley Stadium in front of 70, and he's up on stage, and when you watch, and they showed a clip of him on stage, and when he's on stage, he's playing the guitar, but one eye is constantly watering. And he's trying to play while one eye is just weeping because of buffalo sauce. And ever since then, he's like, it's like 2 hours before showtime, I don't eat. And I'm like, you know what? I am going to take a cue from that, my man.
Fair.
Yeah.
I don't understand why you'd rub your eye with the same hand you just picked up with buffalo sauce anyway.
Because we're idiots.
Yeah, I suppose like you're in that moment and you are your
yeah.
adrenaline's pumping, 70,000 people all chanting your name, and then you just don't even think about it, and boom.
Seems like a weird move to want to grab a buffalo wing.
One. Who eats one buffalo wing? That's like what my main thought was like.
Yeah, well, I'm a little hungry. Let me just eat this one buffalo wing before I go out and just whet the appetite.
No. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yep.
That's not going to happen. No question about it. I had a great friend who worked at KWB back in the day named Smokin' Joe Hager. Worked with him at Hubbard, 1500 KSTP. And as long as we're just talking about music and playing music or doing this or doing that, there was one song, whenever I heard Joe Hager play it on KWB, I knew he was arguing with his girlfriend. You know how I knew that? Because it was Inagata Davida, the whole 22-minute.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So you knew he was arguing with the missus yet again. All that, da, 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 da. Oh, we got 23 minutes of this, do we?
Somebody's in a big time argument.
Oh, God, yes.
Oh, God.
So one time I heard it, and I was out that way. This is back when KWB used to be the far western suburbs, almost in Wisconsin, actually. Radio Drive over there. You guys knew where that was, didn't you? Mm-hmm. I'm driving by there, and he puts on Inagata Davida and went, I got to go and see Joe. I haven't seen Joe in a while. So I pull in. He's playing Inagata Davida. And as I pull in, I see Joe chasing his girlfriend running down the road.
Jeez.
What the hell?
Hey, you'd think that was their thing? Like there's couples that's their thing is they fight, they make up, they fight, they make up.
Probably true.
That could be.
I miss Smokin' Joe, though. What a great guy. He was from New Jersey. Hey, Tommy, let me ask you a question. What are you doing tonight? Okay, Joe, I know it's you. I can guarantee you that.
I love East Coast guys' accent.
I do,
it's so
too.
funny.
All right, Palomino, we'll talk to you tomorrow, I'm assuming.
I believe I'll be here, yes, but one never knows.
You might be out, man.
Well, maybe rest in peace. I don't know what's happening.
We're going to fire Mr. Happy Pants.
That's why. Okay, got it.
Get rid of him.
The Dream Drizzle comment pushed it over the edge.
That was enough, he said.
That's it. Thanks, Pally.
All right,
Bye,
see you guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, news brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh for your free 48-minute financial evaluation. Thank you to Josh again yesterday. Really, really smart with the money. Calling in about, I didn't see anybody yesterday claiming there's going to be a recession, by the way.
Oh, good. So he fixed that.
Yeah, he must have fixed it because I didn't see anybody in the news claiming we're all going under any minute now. So that's good.
Yeah.
We shall take a break. Very special guest, Margaret Cho, coming up next. This is Tommy B for our buddies at Niemeyer Trailer Sales. They've been a part of Minnesota since 1965. The name says it all. They are family. If you want to take your passion on the road and make memories camping wherever you want, no motors, but pulled trailer RVs, go to Niemeyer Trailer Sales. Father Jim Sr. started the business, and the brother and sister team, Tim and Lisa, handle Albertville, with Jim Jr. at the helm in Elko New Market. They're the best name in non-motorized RVs with great deals on the best brands like Rockwood and Northwood. Niemeyer Trailer Sales truly outservices their competition with personable employees, often sons and daughters of this third-generation family-owned business. They simply do what they say they will do. I love that. And they do it every time because their name is on the building. And with a huge selection and RV service pros, you will leave satisfied no matter what you're looking for. Niemeyer takes care of every memory maker, customers that come in their Albertville or Elko New Market location. Head to NIEMEYERS.com and put your passion on the road. Niemeyer Trailer Sales.
What can Hubbard Interactive do for your business? Let's take a listen and find out what they did for one local company, Steve the Window Guy.
I'm Sally, and I'm a digital brand strategist here at Hubbard Interactive. We met with Melissa from Steve the Window Guy, and she was looking for help with their video advertising strategy. So we helped build a comprehensive plan for streaming TV and YouTube ads.
And Melissa, tell us how it's been getting your message out with help from Hubbard Interactive.
I've been working with them for 5 years, and what I've learned is that they have both the experience and the depth inside their team to help me solve any creative marketing challenge that I've got. So over the years, I've moved from streaming TV to YouTube ads, and now we're moving towards SEO. And I'm loving the results that I'm seeing.
Is there anything else you want business owners out there to know about Hubbard Interactive?
I am so grateful for the entire team at Hubbard Interactive for effortlessly understanding our business and our marketing vision, and then always delivering only the best results.
To find out how our experts can help your business grow, get in touch today at hubbardinteractive.com.
Tom Barnard here for Power Lodge and Miller Marine. Attention all power sports enthusiasts. This August, we invite you to celebrate with Power Lodge as they hit a major milestone, 25 years of bringing action and excitement to Minnesota as your go-to destination for all things marine and power sports. Of course, to say thank you, each of their locations will host a local community appreciation day. It's a great idea. Join Power Lodge in Brainerd, Ramsey, Onamia, or St. Cloud as they roll out the red carpet with delicious food, amazing prizes, fantastic giveaways, and unbeatable special pricing. As the grand prizes, they'll be raffling off a variety of Polaris ATVs and snowmobiles. Check out PowerLodge.com for event dates near you this Saturday, August 12th. Join Hubbard and Ramsey at Power Lodge from noon to 2. Win Tom Barnard Morning Show and SKOR North swag. Plus, someone who registers to win on Saturday will score a pair of Gopher Cornhusker home opener football tickets. Ooh, that'd be fun. Great stadium, too. That's on the 31st of August, by the way. Lower level seats and on the 50-yard line. What do you think of that action?
Yeah.
Follow Power Lodge on social media as they unveil 25 days of deals on the latest off-road and on-road vehicles, boats, and supplies from the top brands in power sports. That's right. 25 days of back-to-back incredible offers. You won't want to miss this. Mark your calendar for this Saturday and get in on the action during the 25th anniversary Power Lodge, where throttle therapy begins.
Hi, I'm Mike Bryant, and I'm driving my car safely and legally communicating on my phone. Minnesota law allows a driver to use their cell phone to make calls, text, listen to music or podcasts, and get directions by voice command or single-touch activation without holding your phone. Violations are very expensive.
The National Safety Council reports that cell phone use while driving leads to 1.6 million crashes per year, and nearly 400,000 injuries are caused by texting and driving. Not surprising, since 4 seconds with your eyes off the road is like driving the length of a football field blindfolded. And research shows that just 2 seconds increases the risk of an accident up to 24 times. Texting may only take a second, but it can end your life or ruin it forever. Please, drive safely and stay alive.
Find Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Bradshaw and Bryant.
We are back, 8:52 now. It's 8 minutes till 9 o'clock here on the Tom Barnard Morning Show. I don't know what this means. 10 demotivational posters to keep you humble. Why would you want to demotivate someone?
I don't know, especially me. I'm not very motivated to begin with.
No, I never noticed that.
No.
You've seen motivated posters before, motivational posters, I should say, before, like the one on a kitten on a rope that says, hang in there. But now a collection of demotivational posters going viral. They definitely keep you humble. Someone did a deep dive and posted the funniest ones they could find. Each one of them lists a theme, followed by a message that's the opposite of motivational. A few favorites: uniqueness. Even if you're one in a million, there's still 7,500 of you out there. The lottery: the odds of you dying on your way to purchase a ticket are greater than the odds of winning. Well, isn't this just a thrilling day maker?
That's an upper. These are definitely not uppers.
Underachievement: the tallest blade of grass is the first to be cut by the lawnmower.
Ooh.
Healthy: the slowest possible rate at which you can die. Relationships: I'm telling you, honestly, we were talking about this when the show first started. Everybody now is so negative and self-involved now. They always want to focus on the negative thing.
It's hard to be around negative people. It's draining.
And there's more and more and more of them every day.
Yeah.
My God, cheer up, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
Responsibility: relax. If your job really mattered so much, wouldn't your company have someone better doing it? Motivation: do what you love, and you'll never have to work a day in your life because that field isn't hiring. These are stupid.
Yeah.
I've hit the wall with this. I'm sorry. It's just somebody being a crabby pain in the ass, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the deal.
Yeah.
Is Margaret's ready to go?
Yeah.
She is.
Magnificent. Margaret Cho, ladies and gentlemen. Margaret Cho's live and livid tour, September 23rd, the Fitzgerald Theatre in St. Paul, Minnesota. Good morning, Margaret.
Good morning.
Margaret, have you ever played the Fitzgerald Theatre before?
I think I have.
I thought you had.
I have.
I thought you had, but I wasn't sure. It's magnificent. It's wonderful.
It's a beautiful theater. And I think I was there with the John Moe show for NPR. So that it wasn't actually like a stand-up performance, but it was there. I was there for that. And I was interviewing Josh Ritter also.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
So there you
Yeah, really cool.
It is a great place, no question about that. I love, Margaret, what's amazing, I wasn't going to do this anyway, but it's mentioned there are certain things that you can't discuss, but do most people not understand they probably shouldn't do that at this particular time because of what's going on in Hollywood?
I think, with the strike, it's really important to go by what the rules are for our unions. And so, and I'm a longtime union supporter. My grandfather was a labor union leader, so this is super in my blood. I love this. It's so important, and so I'm out there on the picket lines. So I'm very supportive of my union, and I'm really grateful for our solidarity, and also the solidarity for the WGA and IATSE. It's incredible.
Now, Margaret, is there a place, because I've been in Los Angeles many, many times, but I can't think of a place, is there a place where you could go picket and then throw a brick through the window like they used to, like back in the 20s?
That would be quite incredible. I don't think so, but I don't know. Maybe we could work with the union for props. That's IATSE.
Yes.
We could get IATSE in, and we could get all of the prop bricks that are sort of foam rubber. We could do that.
That's magnificent.
Definitely have all of the fake broken glass, and IATSE definitely includes all of those unions as well. So we could work something out.
I love it. I got to read this paragraph. As a comedian, Margaret has been named one of Rolling Stone magazine's 50 best stand-up comics of all time, one of Vogue magazine's top 9 female comedians of all time, while CNN chose her as one of the 50 people who changed American comedy. That's putting a lot of heat on you, Margaret.
I know. I didn't even know, but I'm glad.
Yes, you should be happy about it, but my God.
I'm very happy.
Oh, you should be. There's no question about it. No, it's going to be so great. Like I said, September 23rd, we'll have you in town, the Fitzgerald Theatre. And by the way, September 23rd is a great time to come to Minnesota anyway. It's phenomenal.
Because it's before it gets really cold. It's a beautiful fall.
Correct.
And it's going to be really lovely.
It is indeed. Any particular things you're doing now, Margaret? Anything you avoid doing now? I mean, the only reason I ask that question is because we're talking to Margaret Cho about her show. It's September 23rd, the Fitzgerald Theatre in St. Paul. But yeah, I got to believe there's just certain things now that people are very touchy about everything right now. So is that difficult?
No, No, because you can talk about how touchy they are. That's the fun thing about it.
Good.
That you can really get into that, like people getting offended or being upset about things that might be offensive or not offensive or whatever it is. Like the fact that has sort of emerged, this sort of idea of cancellation, that actually has been a huge point of things to talk about.
Good.
So it, in a way, is a benefit because you think you're talking about the outrage becomes another avenue which to outrage or deflect or diffuse. I think ultimately comedy's function is to diffuse.
Yeah.
We want to go and diffuse the bomb. Go in there and like be the one that kind of takes all the wiring out and sees how things work. And then in that element is a kind of healing, maybe? I hope. We'll see.
See, now that's what comedy's supposed to be, isn't it?
Yes. We want to dissect exactly what it is that's so alarming and figure it out. And so I hope that I can. I mean, everything is so divided, and that you want to bring people together. That's my hope.
How can we do that when that? And I don't watch a whole lot of the national news, Margaret, and I don't want to get too political here or anything like that, but I cannot watch the national news because all they do is lie to get ratings on there now, and it's all of them.
Everybody has a bias.
Yes.
And so when you can see the bias, like then you can kind of more explain, oh, these people are, and it's also like social media will only feed you content with it you're likely to agree.
Yeah, that confirmation bias.
That's part of it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, confirmation bias and a kind of like they're always preaching to the choir, no matter what. There's different kind of platforms you can go on that specifically your sort of ideology, but even the big mainstream ones, they divide us further.
I just think you guys do play a very, very important role. And by you guys, I'm talking about comedians. When I was a teenage boy, it got me through. It was a very, very rough period in my life. And I got through because of two things, Marvin Gaye and Richard Pryor. That's a fact.
Yeah, love it.
It was, I mean, it was wonderful. Very, very inspirational. Now, I know we've only got a couple more minutes with you, but I do want to talk about Cats and Lucia.
Well, like my Uju, boy cat, is on my arm, and then Lucia is on my hip right now.
Oh, I'm so jealous.
They're excited to talk. I'm not talking about it because that means that maybe breakfast is going to be soon.
Oh, yeah.
Cats
Yeah. I remember I used to have a cat. I've been manifesting a cat, Margaret, for a while now, and I'm hoping that.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know. Hopefully December. I'm hoping I can get a cat eventually. But man, they anticipate breakfast about 4 hours prior than you should give it to them. So.
I know, it's so funny, but I just love them so much. I just went to Cat Pond, so I'm excited that you're going to get a cat because there's so many kittens out there who need homes. And they adopted about 150 kittens this past weekend from the shelter.
Yes.
So nice.
We have a place around here. It's secondhand hounds and consignment cats. And so I'm going to get myself a consignment cat here very soon.
Oh, good. I can't wait. It's going to be great. They really need homes, and loving homes is like that.
Margaret, I don't want to put any pressure on you, but as I just said, the only way we're getting out of this and stop hating one another is through music and comedy, so it's all on you, sister.
I agree. I'm going to do my best. Thank you so much.
Margaret, thank you so much for being with us. September 23rd, the Fitzgerald Theatre. If you've never been there, ladies and gentlemen, it's a phenomenal place to see comedy. Anyway, September 23rd, Fitzgerald Theatre. Margaret Cho, thank you. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye. Got a little rough there at the end. What the
I
hell was
know.
that
I
all
was
about?
like, I can barely hear. So I was like, if I talk about, I think I can pull out some cat information. That's why I was looking at you like, I can barely hear, and I'm trying.
Yeah, I'll let our people know that it was, because, that sucks when that happens at the end,
Yeah,
when you
too
only have
bad.
like 2 minutes left, because then they go, because you want to restart the interview or try to get, but then they're like, we're just going to move on. You're like, well, the last 3 minutes of our interview sucks, so the next person gets the good interview? All right, fine, whatever.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Yeah,
I
she's
loved the
great.
things you said to her. That was a great interview.
So she and I didn't used to get along at all. Yeah. But I don't think she remembers that.
Oh, well, we'll take it. Isn't there something beautiful about when they come on and they're like lovely and you go, oh, good, they don't remember that we've fought in the past?
Well, I've always hated Judd Zulgad, But, when we appear on the show together.
He's got a terrible memory as well. He comes on here always in a good mood, always smiling.
Yes, indeed.
I embrace the hate. See,
nice.
that's the difference. I embrace it. I embrace and turn it into a positive.
We love that.
I loved your text message last night. I don't know where the hell this came from, but my God, it's looking good.
So the Twins don't make a trade a week ago at the deadline, right? And we're all like, okay, and I didn't mind that, but I certainly didn't think it would inspire the troops. And I don't think they've lost since then. They've won a season high 5 in a row and are now 5.5 up on Cleveland, which clearly is out. They just don't care. So
they don't.
Yeah, it's remarkable. Sports, man. Sports.
But I sat and watched that's 2 games in a row I sat down and watched all of. I haven't done that since they went into tank a few months ago.
Oh, you're getting fully roped back in, aren't you?
I do every year.
Yeah, I know. And I can't decide if it's, I'm so hesitant because we felt so foolish before. I'm so hesitant to be like, yeah, now it's all good. It's all turned around. But, the last week, and yes, Detroit stinks, but still, I mean, they were swept by Kansas City, which is worse than Detroit. So
yes,
I don't know what to make of it, Tom.
God, I still don't understand how the hell you can get swept by Kansas City. They're terrible.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know what to make of it.
I don't either.
I think it's just I watch this now and it's like, what? And they're scoring runs now? I mean, what the hell? What the hell is going on here?
Everything's a home run. Everything's a 3-run homer now for the Twins. It's like, okay. I love it. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love the fact they're doing it. But maybe, do you wonder if once in a while that maybe these people involved, like, Rocco and all these other people involved in it, maybe they know a little more about baseball than we do?
Well, I think hanging on to Kepler has worked out, but I don't know if it's they know more or they liked him and it's good fortune.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. And yeah, with a 162 game season, I do think that the pendulum swings back and forth at times.
Yes.
I do think that's fair to say, but again, this is, what, Tom, to me, this is so Minnesota sports, right? Because we get sucked back in. And then my question is, okay, is something good going to happen here? Or are we just being set up to look like fools again? And I can never decide. I can never decide what the answer is. Because a lot of times it's been door B.
No, it has. There's no question about that. It's just, I don't know. It's really fun to watch now. And I know they'll probably tank it a bit again. It reminds me, it does remind me a little bit of that 87 season. It really does. They were not very good on the road in that year, but they were phenomenal at home.
Yeah, as I told you, I sort of agree with that. But the one thing about that team was I liked that team more.
Yeah.
That team had guys who were developing, like the Herbecks, and Gaetti and Laudner and Puckett and all had come up aside from Puckett, in really the same time period. And so that was like sort of the culmination with that team of the development. This team, I just can't decide what the hell they're all about. That's my problem.
Yeah, I know. I agree with you. And I still think in the long term, they're going to have to move the mound back because there are certain benefits that a pitcher has now. Not necessarily a Twins pitcher, I guess, but just being that close to home plate, man, they can throw some heat now. It's unbelievable.
Did you see, I think you said that you did watch this full game, so you did, but Dallas Keuchel slinging that old school slop up there, 88 miles. It was like when Frank Tanana came back from the arm injury back in the day, and he had been he had thrown heat at one time, but he came back and he's just 85 here, 86 there. I was watching Keuchel and I was like, this is. If he can get by with this stuff in 2023, it's really impressive.
I would agree with you 100% on that one. It was a hell of a game to watch. Last night's game was a hell of a game to watch, and they got a couple more. We got 3 more.
Against Detroit.
Against Detroit.
Three more against Detroit, and then they go play the Phillies, which will be a tougher test in Philadelphia for 3 because this is a 7-game trip in full. But 4 games against Detroit, is a godsend right now because I think Detroit now has, how can I put this kindly, lost interest in playing baseball.
Yeah, I agree.
Was that your kind way of saying it?
That's well, I just always think it's funny when teams in sports, when it's just clear that the end is approaching, the end is getting near, and they're like, we pretty much suck. And they're like, do we really want to give it our all? Like, do we want to be the little engine that could, or do we want to get to a point where we can basically just start to set our tee times? And I think the Tigers might be getting towards tee times in Arizona.
That's funny.
I got to be honest with you. Back in the day when I was a younger man and maybe had a beer or two during sporting events, days like Thursday were my favorites because you got the daytime baseball game and the nighttime football game on the same day. Woo! Yeah. What do you think of that?
Oh, that's a long
Well, you know
day.
what though? Then that means that you enjoyed some beers, but kept your wits about you to watch both games.
Well, that's true. You didn't get hammered.
That's impressive. Yes, Brittany.
Judd, on top of it, you have to keep in mind, got up at 4 a.m. and did a morning show.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you once told us that was it 25 in a day? Beers?
It was 47.
Yeah, Judd.
It was 47 anchor
It's really
steams.
sold you short. I'd like to apologize.
But in his defense, he got to start at 10:30 after leaving the station.
Yeah, there
so
you
he has
go.
a longer runway than most.
It was at the Runyon's downtown Minneapolis, as a matter of fact.
Great bar.
And he, the server came over and said, because I was going to drive because everybody was hammered and I wasn't. I'd had 47 beers and I was nowhere near as drunk as my friends. So I said, well, I suppose I better drive home. And the server showed me the list because I wouldn't have believed him.
Yeah.
He said, here they are. Check out the list, pal. 47 anchor steams.
Oh, my God. That's not Bud Light either then.
No.
Or Miller Lite.
No.
Anchor Steam's serious. I mean, that's a good beer.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if I ever truly got drunk drinking beer. It just didn't have enough alcohol in it to get all that hammered.
Were you tempted to ask the server for a copy of the list and then frame it?
He actually was going to give it to me. I said, oh, no. I'm headed home to the missus.
Yeah, can we go ahead and burn that right now?
Yeah,
It's
start that
probably
on
what.
fire.
Okay, but
Like,
how
put
about
it
this?
in your pocket?
Yeah, like did you straight up pee yourself? Like how? Like at night you go to bed with that much pure liquid? I mean,
I might have had to get up 7 or 8 times during the night. That's true, yes.
like that's impressive.
Possibility. God, it was fun, though. I could remember every minute of that night, so I know I didn't get too hammered because I remember it all.
Yeah, but we're going to have to get some separate accounts as well to see if it matches up, sir.
What do you mean matches up? That I was in a good mood?
No, well, we need another person's run of the events.
No, they were drunk.
Oh, yeah, well, I would actually like to hear theirs anyways.
No, that makes sense. That does make sense. But, yeah, Runyons loved that place.
Fun.
No question about it. So, but Tuesday, you thinking about that? You got a daytime baseball game, a nighttime football game. It might be time to have a cocktail, man.
Yeah, I got to be careful there, though, because, the football game starts at 9, right? So the football game's on the very back end of the day. I'd much prefer it kicked off at 7 o'clock our time, right? Because then you got the baseball. Like that. That's a gap there. You got to be, again, you got to approach the drinking carefully or you're going to pass out in like the first quarter of the Vikings game, which will defeat the entire purpose.
Judd,
But yes.
You don't to me, I don't perceive you as somebody who likes to get drunk, like lose control all that much.
Oh, I don't. But I mean, unlike Tom, if I have beers, and I'm at a point now where I drink basically at home when I watch games, so it's not a problem with driving. But, after X amount of beers, and I'll tell you this, it's a lot less than 47. It starts to hit me, and I'm like, boy, I feel, I'm not concentrating on this game or really watching it as well as I thought I would be. So that's my thing.
Oh, by the way, I should mention to people, I did not drive home, by the way. Even though I thought I was okay, I didn't drive home.
Yeah, well, it's hard to, when you're hit with facts like that, then just get in your car and go, you know what, I'm good.
Let me jack it up. Here we go.
Although, Tom, I'm sure you can tell some stories from especially the 70s of seeing some folks who did drive home probably down the 4 94 strip when they shouldn't have back
you got
in the
that
day.
right.
Even when I was young, I mean, everybody drove drunk. And I know that's that's a terrible thing to say, whatever, but it was just a fact. Nobody was called, because we'd have to formally call cabs, and nobody did that. And everybody, it was terrible. Ugh, I would say that if we talk about a lot of negative things that happen with technology, one positive is Ubers and Lyfts, that's for sure.
Yeah, no question about it. You don't ever want to drive drunk, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
I was never arrested for drunk driving or that stuff. I didn't like to drive after I had been drinking.
That's good. That's great. And that's unique, because I don't think, you probably were the minority in that situation.
That's very smart, yes.
Well,
absolutely.
I got to tell you, though, Fremont Avenue North, just a little bit north of 26th Avenue, though, it was a one-way. Still is a one-way, I think, but I'm not sure. But we lived right there in a duplex on the upper floor, and I heard this huge noise, and I mean, it was loud. I look out, and a car had hit a tree doing about 70 miles an hour. It's a 35-mile-an-hour zone, or 30 mile an hour. Hit a tree doing 70, and 3 of my friends were killed, and it was because of drunk driving, and I'll never forget that.
Oh, that stays with you.
Killed all 3 of them. Eek.
It's terrible.
There was just in South Minneapolis, over on 50th and Lindale, a drunk driver in a truck hit a car and killed a person. So I just feel like, I think
no drinking and driving.
Yeah, let's not.
You horn tooting.
Or in my case, just no drinking. Period.
Well, mine too. It all works out.
We're on timeout for a while.
driving.
Our driving. I'd love not to drive.
I will tell you one thing though, and obviously this is never going to happen because I wouldn't allow it to happen. But if I ever lost my wife in some way, I'm going right back to it.
You know what's so
if
funny?
There's no Catherine, I'm right back at it.
You're right back in the bar?
Yes.
I think it's really morbid, and people who are not non-drinkers get a little bit uncomfortable. I have a game plan where I'm going to drink. But it used to be when my black lab Izzy died, and she died, I'm fine. But I've now decided, like, if this person dies and this person dies, of course I'm going to start drinking again. But I got past the Izzy hump, so I think it's just now me just verbalizing a fake. It's the idea that, like, oh, maybe I'll, also backpack in Europe. Like, none of that's going to happen. It's fine.
I'm going to drink and backpack in Europe.
You know what I mean?
I like that. That's a good combo.
You know what
right
I mean?
there.
Like, there's a part of you that doesn't want to close doors. I don't want to say, like, I'm not.
You don't want to do that.
In my mind, I'm still going to be a police officer at some point. I'm still going to be, run the fastest mile I've ever ran. Like, I'm not ready to shut doors on things that even I know logically are never going to happen. I'm never going to backpack in Europe. That's never going to happen.
Well, it might not happen. But I would tell you something. That back in my 20s, I didn't drink for like 8 years. I just didn't drink from like 21 to 29.
Is that because you just wanted control?
Yeah. And I was really exercising a lot, doing a lot of weightlifting and all that stuff. So I didn't drink at all for 9 years. And this time around, it's been, like 12 or 13 years, something like that?
You're on 12.
I'm on 12?
Yeah, which is pretty dang impressive.
Yeah, but it doesn't bother me in the least.
Yeah.
I really don't ever go, oh, God, I wish I could drink. I don't think, who cares?
You had a big wine collection.
Oh, I still do.
So does a part of you want to be like, oh, I could drink a little bit of like...
No.
Not at all.
Once I go after it, I'm going after it.
See? That's very important, though. To know that exactly, that's probably the most important thing, right?
Right. Yeah.
It is indeed. Now, as long as you brought up the wine part, because I still do have a wine cellar, because people have them over and they have great wine. I had a couple bottles of a wine called Latache. It was a double. They were both double magnums, right? Latache was a great French wine, really, really good. Okay. And one night, many, many years ago, maybe 15, 20 years ago, I broke them out and said, why don't we have so many people over, why don't we have this? It'd be a great treat for everyone.
Yeah.
So we drank both double magnums. This is probably 20 years ago. I just saw a story on double magnums of that year of Latache, sold 2 double magnums, which is what I had, for $160,000.
Dang.
That bothered me because I didn't pay anywhere near $160,000 for it, I'll tell you that.
I worked at a liquor store in Uptown for a little while, and it was kind of on the other side of Lake Calhoun, so there's always people of affluence would come in and buy wine, and we had this certain... some dude would always come in like twice a week, and he'd pick up like 2 bottles of wine, and they each cost like $2,300. And I'm like, how?
Oh, yeah.
What do you do for? I haven't. Don't get me wrong, I drink a lot, but I don't even put $2,300 into a year.
Yeah,
But
I
2
know.
bottles, and he would pound through them, no problem. I'm like, good on you. If you can afford it and can do it, good on you, my
Good
man.
for
But
you.
some of that stuff, it's a wise investment, absolutely.
I have that part of my brain that's very Minnesotan. I would not be able to enjoy that expensive of wine, no matter how wealthy I was. A part of me would go, I could buy this, this, and this with it. I could have, in my 20s, pay my rent like 3 times over. Like, I will never be able to let that.
true.
I can't. I still am my mom's daughter, where I go, what the money we could spend with that. That's crazy.
Where are we getting wine money?
Yes.
Here's my question: how good is that wine?
Yeah. What
Oh,
is,
it
Like,
was.
Tom, like-
it was phenomenal.
And so when you say that, doesn't a part of you like phenomenal? Like, is it better than any wine you've ever had?
No, because actually 100 Acre, which is a California wine, makes a couple of different wines. One of them would be Fortunate Son, and it's phenomenal wine. I mean, it's really, really good. And it's not $80,000 a double magnum, but it is these days. Now, back in the days when I bought it, it wasn't anywhere near that expensive. And then I stopped drinking, so it's been sitting there for a while, getting better, actually, as you go along. But that wine now is about $1,500 a bottle.
Okay, so we're still out of the range of
It's
everyday
very
drinking.
expensive stuff. I didn't pay anywhere near that much for it, but that's how much it is now.
Yeah, you know of it better than I do. So there is a huge difference. But are there a lot of times too where you've perceived something being very expensive and you've opened it and you go, this could be the same as any other wine?
Oh, that has happened before. Yeah.
That's got to be frustrating.
We have to take a break. You're still going to be with us for a while, are you not, sir?
Till 38, yes, sir.
So, okay, we've already talked about drinking a lot of beers, 47. Talked about drinking very expensive wine. So next, let's talk about heroin when we come back.
Yes.
Just kidding. I've never done heroin. Never done heroin in my life. I'm lying.
Yet.
There's no question about that. And so, should we do that?
Yeah, obviously. We'll go heroin route next. I love that.
I never even wanted to do heroin. Did you ever want to even think about doing heroin?
No, and heroin is not something I think you casually do. So it's like if we have a 3-day weekend, let's not just kind of tap into it. I don't think we should go down that route. Okay.
All right, we got to take a break. Be right back. More with Judd, Zulgad, SKOR North. Doing a great job. Tom Barnard here for Power Lodge and Miller Marine. Attention all power sports enthusiasts. This August, we invite you to celebrate with Power Lodge as they hit a major milestone. 25 years of bringing action and excitement to Minnesota as your go-to destination for all things marine and power sports. To say thank you, each of their locations will host a local community appreciation day. Join Power Lodge in Brainerd, Ramsey, Onamia, or St. Cloud as they roll out the red carpet with delicious food, amazing prices, fantastic giveaways, and unbeatable special pricing. I'll say that again, unbeatable special pricing. As the grand prizes, they'll be raffling off a variety of Polaris ATVs and snowmobiles. Check out PowerLodge.com for event dates near you. This Saturday, the 12th, join Hubbard and Ramsey at Power Lodge from noon to 2 with Tom Barnard. You can win Tom Barnard and SKOR North swag. Plus, someone who registers to win on Saturday will score a pair of Gopher Cornhusker home opener football tickets, lower level seats on the 50-yard line, as a matter of fact. Follow Power Lodge on social media as they unveil 25 days of deals on the latest off-road and on-road vehicles, boats, and supplies from the top brands in power sports. That's right, 25 days of back-to-back incredible offers. You will not want to miss this. Mark your calendar for this Saturday and get on the action during the 25th anniversary. Power Lodge, where throttle therapy begins. There's a guy named Tom Cross who likes to do kite things. Tom takes the phrase "go fly a kite" to an extreme, and for years goes all over the country in search of great kite flying events. Lincoln City, Oregon comes to mind, with Chinook winds and 7 miles of pristine beach that draws folks from all over North America for the best kite flying conditions in the world. Tom brings a little Minnesota with him when he goes to Lincoln City in his new 2109S Rockwood Mini Light travel trailer. The new lightweights from Rockwood are very popular. Tom hauls his trailer from Niemeyer Trailer Sales in Albertville and Elko New Market, Minnesota. Niemeyer Trailer Sales is the only place Tom would prepare his next kite flight. Solar panels, exterior griddle, air conditioning are just a few of the standard features in his Rockwood by Forest River, from the place that is your ultimate RV headquarters since 1965. This is Tom Barnard. Visit my friends at Niemeyer Trailer Sales and take your passion on the road. Niemeyer Trailer Sales. Go to NIEMEYERS.com. Niemeyer Trailer Sales.
Bob Sansevier, and I want to tell you about Dave Bialki from Bialki Law. Dave represented my wife, Mary, when she had a significant workplace injury. She was very happy with the job Dave did. If you have a work-related injury and have Dave represent you, I'm betting you'll be happy too. Dave is a down-to-earth guy. He grew up in northern Minnesota, rides a Harley, and worked various jobs doing concrete, electrical, plumbing, roofing, and carpentry work. Dave works for people with work-related injuries. If you work construction, or anywhere for that matter, and you're hurt or even just hurting, you should talk to Dave. Let's face it, our bodies wear out. If your body is worn out from work, if your knees or back or shoulders hurt from things you do at work, do what Mary did. Call Dave and talk to him about it at Bialki Law to set up a free initial consultation. The number to call is 763-571-2410. That's 763-571-2410. Or visit bialkilaw.com. That's BIALKE law.com.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Judd Zulgad with us. SKOR North. Got some big days coming up. The kickoff of the Vikings season, the preseason, is Thursday night. You got your Twins wrapping up a series on Thursday afternoon. So that game Thursday night doesn't start till 9 o'clock Central, huh?
Yeah, because they're playing the Seahawks in Seattle, and so it starts at 9. And I also got bad news because the preseason now, it's down to 3 games, which is fine. It was 4 for a long time. But last year, Connell's first year, and I think it's going to continue, the majority of veterans won't play in any games, because you used to sort of see the starting quarterback in the third preseason game for like a half maybe in the starting offensive line. I am guessing with the way things are structured now that we will not see Kirk Cousins, Jefferson go down the list of veteran guys in any of the 3 preseason games.
Not at all, really.
I didn't see them last year. And yeah, they don't like to take the risk of basically in an uncontrolled game against players, it's rookies and stuff, of veterans getting hurt. And the other thing now too that's become all the rage is they have these joint practices. So like the Cardinals and Titans are coming here to play the Vikings in preseason games, but more importantly, they're going to have, before those games, both teams are going to come here early, and they're going to have 2 days of joint practices, which amount to preseason games that are completely controlled, if that makes sense.
Sure.
And so they can get in work that they want the veterans to get in a slightly more controlled environment, because there is nothing worse, I will say this, than somebody of significance being hurt in a meaningless game and then being out for, 8 weeks or something like that. So, yeah, I wouldn't expect to see Cousins, Jefferson, that whole crew in any of the 3 games that start on Thursday. But you'll still see their young guys. I mean, there's still guys who are going to try to win jobs, but they've really shifted that. It's a long way. I saw a note today, Tom, when the Vikings reported to training camp in their inaugural season in Bemidji. I believe the date I saw was they reported July 10th and it ended August 31st.
Oh my God!
In Bemidji.
And that was back when the old man was running the joint, huh?
That was 61. So that was that team was coached by Norm Van Brocklin. And he had just left as a player himself, right? He had been a player just a short time before, wasn't he? In fact, I think he might have been, if you look this up, I think he might have been the 1960 NFL MVP as a quarterback for the Eagles.
That's what I thought. And then 1 year later, he's taken over the Vikings.
Mm-hmm. And if you want to talk about a guy who according to stories, had a drinking issue, Norm Van Brocklin would qualify.
Did he really? I didn't know that.
Ornery cuss, I guess. He was a cantankerous dude.
A cantankerous drinker. Who ever heard of it?
I know you're shocked.
Yes, I am absolutely shocked. There's no other way to describe it. I'm beside myself. No, it's great though. You got that that baseball season blending in with the football season was always one of my favorite. August, September, always one of my favorite parts of the year.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then baseball playoffs are fun.
Oh God,
So,
yes, yeah.
As you know, if the Twins are in it, it's more fun, obviously. But as we get towards that, that's fun. And the thing about football too is it's so, if this makes sense, perfectly structured. So like when training camp starts, it's like I'm set for football, but training camp is in itself pretty boring, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then Thursday you start games, and it's like, okay, I'm set to see a game. But once you get through 3 exhibition games, it's like, I'm sick of these games. And then that's just in time for the season to start, which is exciting and fun. So it's this perfect structure of, or I should say it's a perfect buildup
Yeah.
to the start of the actual season for the Vikings.
Who do we start the regular season with this year?
Tampa Bay, which is going to be awful.
Awful?
They're going to be terrible. Tampa Bay is going to be terrible.
Oh yeah, I agree with you. I thought you were saying the Vikings had no shot, but they're Tampa Bay's over.
Yes. Yeah, I think they're going to be spending the entire year taking the blueprint from what the Bears did a year ago, which is trying to be as bad as possible to get a high draft pick.
That does happen, doesn't it?
Oh God, yeah. Yeah, it's so funny because you'll get in debates. People will say, well, this tanking thing, it's a bunch of BS. Teams don't tank. And I've always said, you're probably right. Teams don't tank, but teams can suck. And more importantly, front offices tank. Before last season, the Bears had a couple of halfway decent players that they just sort of decided we're going to trade them. I wonder why they traded them. Because they thought these guys might help us win games.
Yeah, those draft picks. Well, particularly if there's somebody in that draft you really want to go after. Then that changes everything.
Yep. And this upcoming draft in April of 24, the USC quarterback, a kid by the name of Caleb Williams.
Oh, yeah.
Is supposedly a real stud. So there's going to be, I'd say there's going to be at least a couple of teams, if not 3, that won't be sad if they win about 2 or 3 games all season.
That's so crazy
to
think about, like all those fans, all those people going and supporting them, and they just know that they're not going to do well. Like, that's got to be depressing.
It's 1 year of pain for a potential long-term payoff, though.
Yeah, makes sense.
So fans are willing to, I think fans tolerate it if your end game is we're going to get a quarterback who's going to be our quarterback for 10 years and can take us to a Super Bowl potentially. It's like the Bengals, right? The Bengals were awful, and they were awful enough to get Joe Burrow. And Joe Burrow's a hell of a player, and he's had him to the playoffs, to a Super Bowl. And so Bengals fans would say, you know what? That season where we sort of purposely sucked, that was a pretty good idea.
Do you have anybody in mind? Who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl this year?
I think it's probably, just off the top of my head, I think it's going to come from the AFC again. The quarterbacks in that conference are just so superior to the majority of quarterbacks in this conference.
Yeah.
The Chiefs are always in the mix because Mahomes, as we saw in that Netflix special, but I mean, we knew before, he is so special. Guys like that don't come around. He's as the cliche is, a generational talent. So I would start with the Chiefs, but repeating is difficult. So if it's not going to be the Chiefs, who else would I pick? The AFC's got a lot of just really good teams. If
Buffalo.
Burrow comes, Buffalo though, it's sort of like they've sort of gone Vikings in this fact that their shelf life, like they were good, and they didn't capitalize. If Joe Burrow is healthy, I think the Bengals are always a threat. That's the thing about it is, how good is your quarterback? And if your quarterback stays healthy, Buffalo has a quarterback in Josh Allen, who I like a lot.
Yeah.
But that whole dynamic with Stephon Diggs is weird, where he's been pissed off about things. He pulled the same stunt here.
Yes, he's never happy.
No, I can't figure that one out. But that's wide receivers, man. That goes back years.
Yeah, that is true.
They are the most mercurial human beings. I don't know if it's because they don't control their own fate in the fact that they can't throw themselves the ball. That's why it surprises me, and it's a good surprise. But Justin Jefferson so far to date, seems like such a good kid, like such a good guy.
I'm glad to hear that because I hadn't heard that yet.
He doesn't bitch. He doesn't complain. He's super cocky, but that's absolutely fine.
Yeah, you kind of have to be in that business, don't you?
Oh God, yeah. Oh, give me cocky. Yeah. You can border on being not a bad person, but border on sort of being a sports jerk. Like if your confidence is so high, but if you can back it up, like Jefferson, that's the thing to me. Jefferson backs up everything he says.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like guys that are arrogant and then can't pay that off. That frustrates you. But Jefferson is I think it's very fair to say he is a flat-out superstar.
I have never asked anybody this question, but how many years have you been covering the NFL now?
My first year covering it on a full-time basis at the Star Tribune back in the day was 2003. So
okay, so 20 years.
Yeah, it's a long time.
Who was the most arrogant player you ever had to cover?
Give it.
Oh no! I'll give that up in a heartbeat.
Yes, Judd.
I'm trying to sort through. You know, who was arrogant in an unjustifiable way?
Right,
too,
right, exactly.
right. Because that's the thing in football. And I will say it was probably a receiver. You know who comes to mind as a guy who came here? Because Diggs was weird, but I will say this: he was really good.
Yeah.
The guy that signed here and you know was just cocky and arrogant. Do you guys remember when the Vikings signed Greg Jennings from the Packers?
No.
Okay, so Greg Jennings had been a product of Favre and then Rodgers, and he left and he signed here, and he came here, and I'm not kidding you. The first, the first few months, the springtime workouts and training camp, he would refer to Rodgers as number 12, as if, well, he was just a number. Like he's like, I'm going to come here and be just as good. And
That's
it's like,
hilarious.
are you, as the meme says, are you sure about that? Are you sure about that? And sure enough, he was fine. Like he wasn't bad, but he certainly wasn't dominant. And, that stuck with me because it's like that's where you've got to be very careful. But I also keep in mind, and this isn't arrogance, but it's how much we don't know players. I also in Green Bay and then here subsequently spent about 4 years covering Darren Sharper.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I told you that. And I mean, he sold himself. I mean, he was a nicest guy to us and turned out so. That's the thing is, there is no question in the limited time that we're around guys, especially in the locker room, man, you don't know people.
Yeah. Oh, it's awful. Yeah, I met him a couple of times. Real quick, John, I know you got to go in just a second. Have you watched the Johnny Manziel documentary on Netflix yet?
I have not, but I want to because it sounds like it's really enlightening.
Yeah. Tom, do you know any of that story about Johnny Manziel?
Well, just the beginning. I don't know where is he now?
I guess we'll have to watch because I don't know. The CFL gave him like a cup of coffee and then they booted him out because they couldn't even handle him. So I don't know. Very interesting though. It's up now. I'm really looking forward to watching it.
Yeah, I guess what the big story that came from it is he said he contemplated suicide at one point when things were bad. I know.
I remember the first day I did radio and I woke up the next morning and wanted to kill myself. I'm like, oh Christ, you're in radio.
And everyone around you wanted to also kill everyone around you.
Why did you want to kill everyone around me?
I'm saying you also wanted to kill. You not only want to kill yourself.
No, it's not what you said. You're a disaster.
I'm saying that you also had a murderous rage for other people.
Oh, that's what you were saying.
Yeah.
Okay, now it's clear.
It's a good thing you never had the taste of blood.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, everybody. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, sir. Looking forward to it. Thanks
All right. Bye. Thanks a lot.
Judd Zulgad, ladies and gentlemen. SKOR North. Popping on the show. I would love working with him.
I love working with him. And do you think it's insider trading if I ask them? I have my I'm in a league, my fantasy league with my Army friends. Is it insider trading if I ask them for tips?
Oh, you mean on the NFL?
Yeah, like if I ask for my fantasy draft.
Yeah. They have shows specifically on SKOR North that that talk about fantasy football. So.
Yeah, I feel like it's cheating to be like, when should I pull my quarterback? That's always what I want to ask is if I find out what draft number I am, when I should pull a quarterback in. Because I always wait way too long.
So do you have a big draft and all that in your deal?
We don't do it in person anymore because we're all over the country.
Okay.
Yeah, we've got guys in Philadelphia and all over. So we just do it online. It's so fun. It's one of my favorite things because you just shit talk all day long on your group chat.
Do you start in the preseason or is it just the regular season?
Regular season. I mean, we draft in the preseason and then it's regular season.
I tried doing that once. Wally Walker and I teamed up on it was baseball, not football.
Oh, baseball league. Those ones are complicated.
I lasted 1 week.
Yeah, the baseball ones are elaborate because the things
get into it too.
It's like the most smallest details of statistics. The football ones are easy. Even I can do it, and even I get the concepts of like how you score points and what you push for, and that's super easy. The only thing is you have to watch out for bye weeks and kind of get ahead of that. But it's like a 2-second thing, so you could totally do a fantasy league. It's pretty fun.
I tried, Wally. I just handed out the keys to Wally. Said, "It's your team now, pal."
Tom and Wally teaming up.
I loved Wally. I miss Wally.
He's lovely.
How's he doing? Anybody ever talk to him?
I don't know. I'll reach out. I'll ask Lisa. She always knows all the stuff.
Lisa does?
Lisa Miller, yeah. Loves you. Lovely woman. I love her.
Yeah, she was a great person to work with.
She's so sweet. In a world where not everybody's very sweet. She's
What?
very sweet.
What? People in radio who aren't sweet? Who ever heard of it?
It's just funny when you realize the difference between people are always buildings of people that are always after each other's jobs, and you realize, oh wait, nobody here is nice. Everyone hates me because I got a job or didn't get a job or somewhere in between.
You know, the one thing I really hated about my last years over at the Q?
What?
Management pitted all the stations against one another, and they did it on purpose.
Yeah.
Like, I never got to know any of them. I mean, I knew who they were, but I never got to know any of them, really.
Yeah.
Because I worked at a different station. It's like, what?
I know. Which is so wild because you probably have the most in common ever is with those people. Like, that's how me and Allie became friends, is we had so much in common.
It's the only reason why Allie and I are friends. Is because I was the only one who wasn't a dick to her when she started working there.
Oh, really?
Funny?
Yeah, that's how. Yeah.
Why were they dicks?
Because she was a female and had just showing up, and I think there was a couple of guys that wanted that job, and then they didn't get that job, and that was the same thing when I got there because I got that job, and then. In fact, actually, I just had somebody reach out to me who I used to work with probably about 3 months ago, reached out and apologized for the way that they treated me when I worked there with them. And I'm like, dude, you were 3 years younger than me, so you were 23, I was 26.
Yeah.
Our brains aren't formed. We're listening
babies.
to what, when a program director's like, we're going to make you the guy, and then you don't get to be the guy, you take it personally, and it's awful. It was like, it's not your fault, man. I don't blame you. Absolutely not.
I reached out to somebody who I didn't think I treated amazing. Because I'm normally a very welcoming. No, I've treated amazing. You're welcome.
God.
You get no apologies from me. If anything, you get a you're welcome eventually.
Horrendous.
The other day, the funniest interaction I had with you, Tom, that stuck with me so hardcore is I did something for you that was very simple, and you go, well, why haven't you done this for the last 6 months? And I go, do you mean thank you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually what I mean.
I said, no, I do not mean thank you. I meant get off your ass. Let's go.
That was just so funny.
Let's go.
Just avoiding that whole argument and being like, I think what you mean to say is thank you. And you're like, yeah, you will. And then we both laughed and it was done. But it was so funny.
So what job was that you got and he didn't? Which job?
It was the night job at 93X.
Oh, it's the night job.
Because I moved up from nights, and then because they were looking for this, his name was TJ. TJ, great guy. I love him. TJ, super nice guy. Now he's a MMA commentator out in Los Angeles.
Wow.
And he apologized and was like, I think I treated you unfairly because I didn't know you, and I was angry that I didn't get that job. And I'm like, it's not your fault because management does this crap all the time. In fact, the Cities 97 morning job I was up for, and then. I all of a sudden I wake up one day and I read it in the paper. They put out a press release. Look at our brand new morning show. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Yeah. And then I had to call management and go, I thought we were working on a contract. And they're like, well, we decided to go a different way.
Isn't it?
Couldn't call me. I had to find out from the newspaper.
That's how they were.
Never call. And I always thought it was just because I'm not important enough. But I find out that it happens to everybody.
Yeah.
But I always thought that's why. I mean, I have so many people who I was like, I thought I was in the running for something, and then you find out that way, and you go, like, oh, do they hate me? No,
Yeah.
no, they just do it to everybody. Once you find out that, like, even you guys that happens to, I go, oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's not so bad.
Well, it happens to everybody because most people in radio management have no idea what the hell they're doing.
Well, don't they know?
No clue.
And don't they know, too, it's like, why wouldn't you want to circle back? You never know who's going to be working where.
Exactly.
And everyone remembers that feeling. Like, always circle back. Always say, hey, before this comes out, whatever. Like, because I mean, not me, but people could be running a radio station you want to apply for at some point.
Well, look, I mean, my best example of what I'm talking about is one of them went from being a diner waitress to the general manager of the highest rated morning show in America.
Yeah, it's just,
How the hell did that even happen?
but that's another proof of just be nice to everybody.
No, it means treat everybody like shit.
Oh, yeah,
You
there's
make
that,
such
too.
stupid choices. That was the dumbest thing I have ever seen in my life. I will never forget it. It's like, you were getting tips last week. What the hell are you doing here?
Yeah.
But I don't know what that's all about.
A friend of mine just became a program director at a radio station. When he called and told me, I was like, congratulations. But in my head, I'm like, you are going to suck at this job. You have no idea what you're doing. I love you to death, but boy, do you suck. You have no idea.
I bet people constantly say that about me when I tell them things I'm doing. They're like, you are going to do and I go, yep, probably. I'll fail. It's fine. But like, that's such a funny thing to think about when you love somebody and you hear they're taking on something and you go, I know you well enough to know you are not suited for this.
Well, I didn't have to worry about saying I loved anybody at that joint.
No, but like,
Jesus.
Have you ever heard somebody like you love and know well, they're taking on something and you know it's a bad idea, but you just can't tell them?
I suppose. I can't, nothing comes to mind, but probably.
I would imagine it happens a lot. You guys have older kids. I mean, older in the sense that like actually take something on. That's got to happen a lot with your kids because you know them so well, and not like huge failures, but you know they're going to take on something where you go, yeah, I don't think you're the one for, like, I don't think this is the right path for you, but I have to let you just go and fail.
God, all my memories are popping into my head. John Hines and I have been great friends forever. He worked with a guy many, many years ago. I can't say what position, but he might have been like kind of a general manager.
Kind of a general manager.
Every time I ran into him at the station or out in public, there was a little cocaine in his right nostril.
Geez.
Every time.
That's so
That guy
wild.
must have done cocaine by the fistful.
Well, like, that's what blows my mind is cocaine is not a drug you do once in the morning and live your life. You got to keep up with it all day.
Well, obviously that's what he did because he always had a little on his little boogery nose
And
or
to
whatever.
quote Toots, it's like, where are we going to get cocaine
Where are we
money?
getting cocaine
That's
money?
a lot of money.
Yeah, it is a lot of money. We have to take a break, ladies and gentlemen, right back and wrap things up right after this. Many of you have taken my recommendation to give mnfatloss.com a try. I'm hearing from so many people how this program has worked for them when nothing else would. The mnfatloss.com program really has discovered the secret to weight loss. Just like the program says, I lost about a pound of fat every day. I did the first 60 days in the maintenance program, and now I went back to the weight loss program to get my ultimate goal. I'm going to get there, absolutely, 225. And honestly, it's just not hard at all. And I'm not just saying that either. I eat real meat, vegetables, fruits. I'm not hungry, feeling deprived. They really have figured out the secret to fat loss. If you want to find out the secret to losing 20 to 30 pounds in just 8 weeks, that's about a pound of fat every day, no exercise required. To schedule your free consultation, go to mnfatloss.com. That's mnfatloss.com. Results may vary. Be sure to tell the team at mnfatloss.com that Tom Barnard sent you. You need to know a guy for your auto repairs, legal issues, banking, and more. The same goes for investment advice. You need a guy to help you be successful, someone you can trust, who gets results. Well, I got a guy for you, Josh Arnold. Josh gives you straight talk, not sugar-coated advice about your financial situation. Josh has seen it all when it comes to economic and market conditions, and Josh can make sure that your retirement objectives match your investments. Do yourself a favor and call Josh now for a no-obligation, 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll get a different point of view for your investments. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That is 952-925-5608. You'll be glad that you did. And tell him his guy, Tom, sent you.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
Hello, I'm Brad Huckle, President and Chief Lending Officer at North American Banking Company.
And I'm Michael Bilski, CEO at North American Banking Company.
As a locally owned and operated community bank, we work with many multi-generational businesses.
Take Personal Care Dentistry of Roseville, for example. Dr. Walter Hunt, also known as Painless to me, has been a longtime customer of the bank since we opened the bank in 1998.
When his son Kyle was ready to join the practice, they wanted to expand quickly.
With their additional space and equipment, they now are able to see more patients each day while providing the same level of care and service.
Okay, guys, I'll take it from here. If you run a family business or any kind of business for that matter, you should be banking with Brad and Mike over at North American Banking Company. Every time I deal with them or their team, I know I'm working with experienced professional bankers. So why not bank with my banker? North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, equal housing lender. We are back, ladies and gentlemen, wrapping things up with Adrian Washington in studio, who's already, he hit me when he walked in. I was deeply hurt.
I saw him.
Punched me right in the calf.
He struck you.
White lies.
Why'd it have to be white lies?
Oh, you know. I'm just reading the room, Tom.
I'm reading. How have you been, pal?
I've been great. How about you?
So far, so good. August 10th, House Comedy Mall of America.
Yes,
Wonderful
I will be
spot.
headlining. Looking forward to it. It's been a minute since I headlined there. I just got back from Just for Last Festival in Montreal.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I went out there with Donnell. It was, oh my gosh. It's like the Grammys of comedy.
Yeah, isn't it?
Oh my gosh, it's unbelievable, man.
So what'd you do? I want to hear all about it.
Well, I wasn't going to go originally because it was like over my wife's birthday. So we were going to go somewhere else. But I talked with Donnell's agent. He's like, I think it's a good look if you can come out here. And it was a little expensive, more expensive than what I wanted to pay. But I was like, you know what? This is the opportunity of a lifetime. Not too many people get that invitation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's an investment in yourself.
100%.
Absolutely.
And I've been doing that my whole career. I was like, why would I stop with the biggest thing in town?
Mm-hmm.
You know, so, and it was, and I got to perform both nights. I was still going to go just to kind of meet and greet, put a name with a face thing. And I ended up getting on both of Donnell's shows that he headlined.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
So that's good. Is that because of him?
Yeah.
So he got to make the choice.
He got to make the choice because they were trying to get me to open for him, but the festival was like, well, we book comics for this. We want to use the comics we booked. But Donnell was also like, there's no way they can say, I can't give you a guest spot.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he was like, nope, give Adrian 10 minutes. I was like, yes. And I just learned that like when we were walking to the venue, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, let's do it.
Do a lot of guys, men and women both, actually show up at that series of shows and think they're going to get on and they never do get on?
A lot of times. It's definitely one of those invitation-only things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I posted pictures because everybody's like, why is he going to Montreal? If you're not a comic, you don't know what it is. Then I posted the pictures of who I was hanging out with, and everybody's like, I get it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was just those guys sit around and watch other shows, too. So, like, now these, like, Bert Kirshner, like he laughed so hard at one of my jokes, and what we really laughed about, we were getting ready to go in the after party, and he just seen the back of me. He goes, "What's up, Earthquake?" And then I turned around, and I turned around, and he goes, "Oh man," he's like, "Damn, now I feel racist." So then Donnell looks at him and goes, "That's not the most racist thing you've ever said."
Well, that's probably true. Probably is true. You talking about Bert Kreischer?
Yeah,
I love him.
Man,
he's one of my
he's
favorite
such
people.
a good dude, man.
He
Like,
is.
and he was like, to hear a guy like him like come up to me and like tell me what of my jokes made him laugh so hard. You know what I mean? I was just like, you didn't.
Really cool.
Yeah, I was like, dude, you didn't have to say none of that. You could have just said hi and kept it moving. Like, no. He was like, dude, he's like, I got a joke about cats. He was like, I had no idea where you're going with it. And he's like, the way you turned it around, he's like, I was like, oh my gosh. He's like, I haven't laughed that hard in a long time.
Oh, how cool
You know?
is that?
Yeah.
And you're right. He really didn't have to come up
Didn't
there
have
and
to,
do that.
you know what I mean? And everybody, like Fortune was out there. Like, I mean, gosh, the green room alone, you're just like, whoa. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, it's just, and I was there for 2.5 days. So I told my wife already, I was like, if I get a chance next year, I'm definitely going for at least a week. Because that's what I did for the Netflix as a Joke Festival. I didn't know I was going to perform for that either. And I went out there for 9 days.
Was that in L.A.?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah, here's how good of a guy Bert is. I don't know if you ever heard this story, Adrian, but there was a comic from town. Bert was down in Rochester playing the Mayo Civic Center.
Okay.
And she went down. There was one ticket front row. She bought it, went down, was sitting in the front row, and Bert starts chatting with the crowd. And he goes, what do you do for a living? And Erica says, well, I'm a comedian.
She messaged me and told me, bro.
Yeah, and he's like, why don't you get up on stage and let her get up and do 5 minutes in front of us?
Man.
How cool is that?
I mean, like a guy who's selling out arenas on like Tuesday nights.
Yep.
You know what I'm
So
saying?
nice.
Like this ain't no dude. And yeah, she messaged me. She's like, bro, because I had just met her like probably 3 weeks ago, and I stopped in at the House of Comedy. I was getting ready to fly to North Carolina for some shows. And she's like, I've heard so much about you, but I've never met you. So then we just sat there and we just talked. And I gave her advice and she just listened. And like, so she's been messaging me like every week since. And then she's seen the pictures of Burtt. She's like, I got to tell you this story.
Oh.
So.
And how did she do? Did she do good on that?
There's video of it. Yeah, I helped her produce the video to put up online. People were laughing at her jokes, and at the end, Burt's like, here's what you should try this, and like giving her some tips. Yeah, he's a great dude.
Crazy!
Yeah.
Like, who does that?
He's a good guy. And honestly, like that's what I told her. I said most of the guys are like that. You know what I mean?
Oh, I think
most of them are like that. Like I tell everybody, I said, work your ass off, be funny, and don't be a problem.
Yeah, usually drunk, shirtless white dudes are a problem, but he's not. He's not.
I got out of there before he took his shirt off.
He loves being shirtless. There's no doubt about that.
I posted a picture. Everybody's like, hey, you actually got a picture with his shirt on. I was like, yep. I seen it coming.
I think you've been in the Russian mafia. You can do whatever you want.
Right.
That's one of the greatest stories I've ever heard in my entire life.
Made a movie out of it.
He did.
Yeah, crazy, man. So
and he's not wearing a shirt in the promo, by the way.
Right.
Shocking.
And his wife's a sweetheart. Like everybody that was there was just like super cool. And then meeting the owners of the improvs and them just being like, hey, like good stuff. And then like Donnell messaged me that night and was just like, hey, that was good work. He was like, that was a big stage to be on. You know what I mean? And I went from having 5 minutes the first night to getting 10 minutes the second night.
This might not be the time to ask this, but it just struck me. You're talking about Burtt, and the movie came out, and it did well, from what I understand. And he's such a great guy. There are guys I'm thinking about. We lost a lot of people.
Oh my gosh,
during that
so many. Yeah,
that whole break. But I have not talked to Nick DiPaolo now in about 3 years. Have you guys been running into him at all?
Haven't seen him.
Haven't seen him. He was just in a movie called 4th of July with Joe List.
Oh, okay.
There's another New York comedian. So he is around. Looks wildly different than what he used to.
Does he really?
Yeah.
In a good way or a bad way?
In a good way, because I didn't recognize him in the movie right away. But he got a lot of gray hair, and he rocks a lot of facial hair now. So I didn't notice him. But then when somebody pointed it out, I went back and I looked at the promo shots and went, oh, wow, that is Nick DiPaolo.
Wow.
But what a beast of a comedian that guy is.
He's phenomenal.
Oh.
Always loved him.
Yeah, and I tell everybody, like, if you're gonna be in this business, man, like you all of that is film study.
Yeah.
Like, I go to shows and I watch every show. Even with Donnell, I've been touring with Donnell for over a year. I never just sit in the back and not watch the show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is the one thing I noticed about you, Adrian, is that even when you come to like House of Comedy on like a Friday night and you just do 5, you're just there to hang out with your wife and have a drink and you just do 5. You don't do your 5 and then split.
No.
You always sit and watch, and you always have like really nice things to say or like a good critique, or if somebody asks you, you're always very more than willing to sit down with them.
Yeah, I love it too much to half-ass it, and I feel like if I can say anything that can help you, like, and it's. My wife tells me all the time, she's like, the moment somebody says comedy, she's like, I can almost walk away because that's at least a half-hour conversation.
Adrian, do you get a lot out of watching other people, or do you just know from the other side of it how important it is for the new comedian to hear from?
I just love it.
You just love it.
I love it. I love it. No matter what it is, I'm just like, I want to see what makes this person different than me.
Yeah.
I want to see how this person does this. Like, it's just, like, I go to festivals and everything, and again, people just kind of do their thing, and they go in the green room. Like, I watch everybody. I got to.
Why wouldn't you, though?
Yeah, and I'm like, what did I come here for if I didn't?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you see so many people just do their part and they're gone. I'm like, I understand if you got somewhere else to be, but when I'm coming to the cities, I'm like, I'm here. I don't live here, so it's like I drove here. I didn't drive here for 5 minutes and then be like, well, I'm gonna just head on home.
Yeah.
No, the weird thing about it is I'm usually, even if I'm on a show, I'm like the last person to leave. I'm walking out with the staff.
Yeah.
You know?
You're helping clean up, close the door, lock it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was a judge at one of those contests one night at the Twin Cities Funniest, and the kid who won was really funny.
Yeah.
And I walked up to him afterwards. I said, "Hey, congratulations! Think of how funny you'd be if you actually worked at this." And he goes, I know, I don't put in enough time. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, dude, I haven't seen you write a new joke in 6 months. You're a super funny guy, but you just kind of sit back on your laurels and go, I know, I'll get up there and be funny. Like, you don't really put any effort into this.
Yeah, man. I tell everybody, I say, if you only like it, don't even start.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yep. If you got to be obsessed, and like, I thank God my wife knows that. I have to remind myself to take her on real dates that's not comedy shows. I'm always looking at calendars, no matter where. Like, I performed on our honeymoon.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, like
where were you?
In Hawaii.
In Hawaii, okay.
She must have known this marrying you.
She did.
Because like at least it's financially pays back. My husband's obsessed with golf and does nothing for us. Never, not a thing.
That's just an excuse to drink early.
Yeah, that's true.
One of my buddies just texted me on the way in here. Hey, do you golf? I was like, I drink and drive carts.
So yeah,
if we're playing best ball, I'll do it.
Exactly.
Because then you don't need me. I'm just there to fill a hole.
Well, nothing wrong with that. That works. No question. You know, so many things that I hope because I really did miss having people in the studio.
We missed you too.
I did, man. I really missed it.
Yeah.
Because, well, we started it 30-some years ago. People never used to have comedians on the radio.
Right. I remember, like, I didn't even know who you were, but that's what I just always heard. They're like, hey, Tom Barnard's always got comedians on. And I remember I'd listen sometimes.
Always,
yeah, for years. I heard this 20 years ago.
Wow.
Before I even started doing comedy.
Now I can enjoy it even more. I'm driving in my car, and there's Bobby Slayton talking about tennis shoes.
Yeah.
I remember the last time I saw Bobby perform, it was, God, I can't remember where it was. It was in town here. But it took about, I would guess, 6-7 minutes for the first woman to walk on him.
Wow.
Women used to love walking on Bobby Slayton.
Took that long, huh?
Yeah, well, not usually. But Bobby, I loved Bobby.
Yeah, I tell everybody, I say, man, if you can stick with it, it's one of the most rewarding things in life for me. You know what I mean? Like, I honestly know what my purpose in life is, so that separates me from a lot of people, and that's why I do it the way I do it.
Can we do 3 more minutes with Adrian?
Yeah, we got time. Absolutely.
I just want to make sure because we ran over a little bit, but
that's fine.
Yeah, I was trying my best, but I was dropping my daughter off at the airport. She's getting ready to go fly out, hang with the in-laws for a week and a half, and she's just like, Dad, I need you to like walk me to the gate. So I couldn't do like the curbside.
Yeah.
Like,
How old is she?
17.
Oh, that's like
almost
adult, but scary to like send them on their own. She's so grown,
but still such a kid. You
totally,
know what I mean?
And you kind of, yeah.
And you know, I live in St. Cloud, so when you tell somebody you'll be somewhere in 10 minutes, it might take 12.
Yeah.
Here, you can't get nowhere in 10 minutes.
I know.
I was flying down 494, and I was like, if I get pulled over, I already got a story. I'm like, hey, I'm going to Tom Barnard, so take it up with him.
I've tried pulling that. They don't care.
Oh, yes, they do. Believe me.
I mean, like, I've tried to get out of a ticket because I say I'm going something for you, and they're like, ma'am, here's your ticket. Tell Tom hi.
No, I use Donnell like that all the time. They'll be like, hey, you got to keep moving at this airport. I'm like, I'm picking up a celebrity, and it might be a breach of security if I keep moving.
Breach of security. I like that.
Yeah, I got to trick them. Big words.
That works for me. How's comedy doing now after like we said, the 2-3 year period where nobody's getting
I think it's back better than ever.
Good.
To be honest, I think it's back better than ever.
Because we need it.
We do. And that's the one thing you hear people say all the time. I'm also ordained, so I did a wedding Saturday afternoon up in Eagle Bend before I came down and did a spot with Ryan Davis in Richfield. But everybody who asked me to marry, they were just like, we just want to have a good time. And like
absolutely.
Then everybody in the wedding was just like, that was the best wedding I've ever been to. It's like, it was just fun. You know what I mean?
That's
so I think
awesome.
I think people realize more than ever, like, we just, like, the word, it's tight, man. You know what I mean? You can't say nothing without somebody bitching about it.
No,
so
I
you might as well be who you are and do what you're going to do and just keep it riding.
When I asked a question, it came up, Margaret Cho was on earlier, and I talked about the fact when I was, a 15, 16-year-old boy, having a tough time with it, I got through because of 2 people, Richard Pryor and Marvin Gaye. I do not think that Richard Pryor would make it today. They'd burn him to the ground.
Bernie Mac wouldn't even make it today, let alone.
No, you're right, exactly.
Richard wouldn't stand it. Why do you think Eddie won't do another special?
Yeah, that's
you know
true.
what I mean? Netflix is gonna give him $70 million. Eddie was like, you know what? I don't need it that bad.
Why?
Because you can't. Eddie would be canceled in the first 3 minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But why? It's humor.
One thing I've learned is when you are who you say you are and you stand on it. Chappelle's a prime example.
Yeah.
Right.
You can say what the hell you want to say. Dude's not going to change it. He don't give a damn about what you think. And what's great about that is you go places and you see this dude sell out everywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yep.
it's a few crickets that make the noise, but it's like overall everybody's like, no, it's comedy. Like, and now you can literally Google who you're going to see, so you have no reason to be like, oh my gosh, I don't like this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what you're getting into.
Yeah, some people come to just get pissed off.
Yeah, they do.
There's some people that get dressed up, pay money, and sit in the front row just like this. So you can ask yourself, because usually those people, I used to say something too. I'm like, but you know what? There's 300 other people around this person having a blast. Now, don't even give that person that kind of energy.
Why would they spend money? You can just get pissed off at home.
Yeah.
I have the ability to get really angry at home without anybody.
If I'm angry, I'm staying home.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, so it's weird, but it's great to see it come back. And great to see comics take the power back and just really not give a damn.
They cannot give a damn.
You can't, man, because if you allow it to happen, comedy will not exist in 2 years.
Because it's going to get worse and worse and worse.
Yeah.
So you can't give them the open door.
So I just do it. Like I tell people, I said, I've learned I'm not everybody's personal comic. I can't make everybody happy. If there's 200 people in a room and I got 150 laughing, guess what? That's a great night.
That works.
Great percentage.
Yeah.
Ladies and
50
gentlemen,
of you walked out. I don't give a damn.
Adrian Washington, August 10th, just a couple of days from now, House Comedy, Mall of America. It's always great to see you in studio.
Thank you so very much. I was like, I definitely got to make it. Even if I only had 3 minutes, I was like, I get to see your faces.
No, we still
I get
gave
to
you
high
the
five
12.
you.
You still got the 12, so that's good.
I appreciate it.
Anytime.
I
show
take
up
back the
anytime.
white lies.
Oh, good.
Yeah, you just did white lies.
I was going to write about that in my diary, but now I won't. Okay, good, Adrian.
All right.
Just lies.
Right, just lies.
That works for me.
For more information on me, go to funnymanadrian.com. That's funnymanadrian.com, all one word. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.